Tonight, we're bringing you a 5A Region 1 matchup with playoff possibilities at stake. BC Reign has 2 wins, and they are both in region, while Leflore is winless this season, but they still have 3 region games left to play. Let's just say this, the Schoolhouse Rock Series sums it up best. 3 is the magic number. Which team will capture that magic tonight? We're about to find out. Good evening and welcome to the Mcpss High School Football pregame show, brought to you by Bishop State. I'm Al Wheaton. He is Corey LeBounty. Corey, the way we're looking at it tonight, 3 could possibly get you in.
Yeah, it's going to be very important for both of these teams. We stepped out of non-region play back into region play, and this is a critical game for both of these teams. Leflore is not mathematically eliminated from the playoffs.
That's right.
BC Reign is playing for trying to get its first postseason berth in almost a decade. So it's very important for both of these teams to come out and establish themselves early.
Last time BC Reign went to the playoffs, they had a different coach. His name is Tellis Stone. He's over at Murphy now, in the year, I believe, Corey, was 2014. So the Red Raiders are very excited. As we said, 3 wins could possibly get you in. So tonight, it's really huge for 5A Region 1. Corey, let's get to your checklist. BC Reign, they're the Red Raiders, and they're the visiting team tonight.
Yeah, when you start looking at what BC Reign has to do, they have to win 2 out of 3 phases of the game. Of course, there's offense, defense, and special teams. Coach talked about winning 2 out of the 3. Bring a rainstorm in space. What they're going to have to do well is they're going to have to tackle these elusive Leflore receivers very well in space, and they must have balance on offense. They want to be able to throw the football well as have a heavy dose of number 3 tonight. When you start talking about the Leflore Rattlers, they have to cause a rain drought, meaning they want to hold that goose egg right there here on this Lad People Stadium scoreboard, if at all possible, and they must finish tackles. It's one thing to be on the field for prolonged periods of time, but you want to make sure you wrap up and don't let BC Reign have yards after contact. They must strike fast on the scoreboard. That's going to be imperative tonight also for the Leflore Rattlers.
All right, Troy, there's your checklist. We'll be checking back in with you later. Our third member of the crew, Kimberly Dunn, she's down on the sideline. And Kim, tell us about weather in the BSN weather forecast. How are we looking for tonight?
Well, thankfully, even though Corey mentioned rain in his checklist, we are not expecting any rain tonight, so that will be good for both of these football teams. But, however, we are seeing high humidity. We're starting at 88% at 7 o'clock, and then it makes its way into the 90s. So hopefully that will not be a factor for these players tonight. But the temperature feels amazing. We are feeling temperatures in the 70s, lower 70s at that, starting at 74 degrees at 7 o'clock and making its way to 72 by the end of the game.
Now, Kimberly, you said 74. I'm up here at the top, Corey, now, and this humidity is having an effect on us. We're out of heat timeouts the rest of the season. What type of effect is that having on the coaches and the players tonight?
Well, hopefully it won't be too much of a factor, but you know that these coaches always like to utilize those heat timeouts, not only to give their players a break, but to also talk to them a little bit more and get them prepared and in the right mental mindset in order to play the games and kind of give them that little information that they may need to make that next play. So I'm sure that they're missing the heat timeouts to take advantage of a free timeout, but hopefully it will not have an effect on the players.
All right, no problem. Also, Corey, we use those heat timeouts to check in with our buddy Kimberly, so
Absolutely.
She's losing a little FaceTime with the heat timeouts, you know what I'm saying?
But she absolutely told the truth in regards to humidity-wise. I hope these guys are properly hydrated, because if not, we'll start seeing a lot of cramps here almost going into the first week in
That's
October.
Right. And speaking of impact, we talked about the heat and the humidity and its impact. How about some impact players tonight for us, Corey?
Browse Dowdland, the sophomore running back. I saw him 2 weeks ago against Alberta. This young man is a low-to-the-ground bowling ball. He will run over you. He will run around you. Very elusive. Looking forward to seeing his numbers tonight. Along with the freshman linebacker, Ricky Nichols. This young man plays sideline to sideline, has 3 more years if he stays healthy to play football and make his mark on BC Reign football. You're talking about the impact players for the Leflore Rattlers. None other than Demir Smith, who had 10 catches for almost 306 all-purpose yards 1 or 2 weeks ago against the Satsuma Gators. And you're also talking about linebacker Kevin Moore, the junior. We'll be calling his name a lot tonight also, Al.
Familiar with his name because we had him in our first broadcast of the season as we kicked the season off against Williamson earlier. Corey, we made it through the halfway point of the season, and inside of the kickoff show tonight, I came across some information I wanted to share with everyone out there. Kind of put it together and had help from Wade and the crew, the graphics team in the truck. Want to call it the 5 mid-season surprises, as we are like literally on the other half of the season. We're going into the second half of the season right now.
You know, when you start looking at these key points, there have been some shockers so far, and I know you're going to highlight those along with your 5 key points, a few more as well.
All right, here we go. The 5 mid-season surprises I've put together. Number 5, the St. Paul Saints. They're the defending state champs, Corey, but they're kind of struggling. It's been 13 years since they've been 2-3 at this point in the season.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about Steve Mass, though. It's kind of like at Spanish Ford as well. You want to get better as the season goes along, and you can look for the Saints to continue to get better.
Number 4, the Blunt Leopards. Now, is this mistaken identity, Corey? The winningest public school in the last decade, they're trying to find themselves. Blunt hasn't opened at 2-4 since 2008. What Leopards team is going to take the field? 1 week they're up, 1 week they're down. I don't know what we're getting.
A late coaching change with Lev Holly taking a job in central office, and you have to try to find your identity. And plus, they lost close to 5 to 6 Division I prospects, so that makes a difference in coming a new season.
Coming in at number 3, oh my Murphy. It's like Marshall on the Brady Bunch. Where have you gone, Murphy? The last time the Panthers were shut out 3 times in the season was 1993. That was the first year for a coach. You may have heard of this guy. You ever heard of Terry Curtis?
Absolutely.
That was a long time ago, Corey. He's been at UMS almost 20 years. So the Panthers defense, they're giving up an average of 4 scores a contest at 25.7 points a game. You can't win many ball games like that.
Uncharted territory for the Murphy Panthers. Rico Jackson works hard as any coach here in the Mobile County Public School System. He'll get it turned around.
Yeah, we're looking for Murphy to bounce back. Number 2, Corey, you ever heard of this school? The St. Michael Cardinal. Who would have thunk it? Listen at this. If they win tomorrow night, they're going to equal all of the wins thus far in the program's history. Plus, it'll keep them alive in the playoff hunt. This year, they have received their first ever state poll ranking, and the offense is averaging 37 points a game. That's number 5 in the entire state for Class 4A.
Phillip Rivers finds a way to get it done in his first year. Turn it over in the spring helps a lot for him to establish his identity.
And number 1, Corey, the best undefeated area team under the radar, the Viger Wolves. They're 5-0, ranked number 3 in Class 5A, and they're averaging 33 points a ball game. But nobody's talking about them, Corey. They're undefeated.
What a difference a year makes for this young Wolfpack team. They grew up over the summertime, and they've got off to a great start.
All right, we're going to take a break. We do appreciate you for joining us for the MCPSS High School Football Game pre-kickoff show brought to you by Bishop State. We're going to come back with your kickoff.
Part of the experience of going to the Mobile Museum of Art is that it's there for everyone.
Art is there to inspire, to give you other perspectives, and to make you think outside of yourself.
The museum offers a critical service to the culture of the community.
It's providing the opportunity to have eyes open.
We welcome you to the legendary Lab People Stadium for a region game with playoff implications looming in the balance. BC Rain knows a third region win could get them into the tournament, but across the field sits Leflore, hungry to strike for their first win of the year, knowing that it would be just 2 region wins away from making the playoffs. In other words, tonight's ball game is huge for both teams. I'm Al Wheaton, joined by Corley Bounty. Down on the sidelines, we have Kimberly Dunn. And Corey, it is time for another MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week brought to you by Bishop State.
Can't wait, looking into it. I mean, here's a critical matchup, a region matchup that is, Al. So Leflore is going to have an opportunity to strike first here. And I'm going to be impressed to see how the young quarterback, D'Anthony Leflore, we had him in the first game of the year against Williamson.
That's right.
To see how this young man has matured throughout these few couple of weeks of high school football.
1st and 10 for the Rattlers, ball on the 35-yard line. As we are close to getting our first play underway here. Leflore getting their offense set up under first-year head coach for them, Sean Burney. Rattlers come in winless tonight. They toss it off to their playmaker, Demir Smith. Little jet sweep. That one goes backwards, Corey. It's going to be 2nd and about 13 coming up for the Rattlers.
The stop made by strong safety, 5'7", 130-pound sophomore Justin Harper. That's his 37th tackle on the season.
Wow.
Now makes his 5th tackle for loss. He was our Crichton Optimist Club Player of the Week a couple of weeks ago. This young man may be small in stature, but he plays with a huge heart and tackles well in space.
2nd and 13 here for the Rattlers. Going across the middle to Smith as he goes through the flat, gets past the 40-yard line, maybe up to the 41. So nice play right there by Leflore, setting up 3rd and about 4 yards.
You go to Demir Smith, who winds up looking through his ear hole on that play, and you're glad he caught the football. That's what you want to see, your playmaker having the football delivered by your quarterback. Now it's going to be a situation to where you're going to have the penalty flag because he was looking out of his ear hole.
So it's a 1st down for the Leflore Rattlers. Take a look at that offense led by freshman quarterback D'Anthony Leflore. He's gotten better since we last saw him at the top of the year. He's thrown for nearly 500 yards with 5 touchdowns. He has a 60% completion rate. The Rattlers' main weapon is Demir Smith, as we just talked about. If we don't have that graphic ready, we'll try to get it up for you after this play. So it's 1st and 10, ball on the 44-yard line of BC Rain. Perryman with the carry right there for the Rattlers, picks up maybe a yard. So get that offense up. Just talked about Leflore's 60% completion rate. He's already hooked up with Demir Smith already one time, who leads the Rattlers in rushing and catches. Averages 22 yards of reception, Corey. Sophomore wideout Miguel Fleming, he'll haul in some catches as well tonight. And running back Savion Perryman just got that carry. May get a few more tonight as the ball game unfolds. Up front, the Rattlers are well experienced, all upperclassmen and 1 sophomore. So no gain for Perryman right there on the carry.
Spratt on the stop for the Red Raiders.
That pass incomplete, intended for a Rattler.
And when the ball is incomplete to Josh Scott, you just have to shake that off. You can't worry about it. Play the next play. Don't show a lot of negative body language out there. Yes, it was a low throw. Could have been a little bit better, but at the same time, just play the next play. Hustle back to the huddle. 3rd down and 10 yards to go for the Leflore Rattlers, right from the BC Rain Red Raider 44-yard line.
Singleton in the backfield with Leflore. That pass incomplete. Went back to Scott again. So 2 incomplete passes and a run. It's 4th down already, Corey.
And I think you're in a situation where unless you just want to flip the field, you can go ahead and punt this football. Again, you'll set your defense up in better real estate if you do flip this field on your first possession. But, again, you're looking at the play clock only being at 30 seconds now. You have plenty of time to get the correct personnel on the field and kick this football away. Demir Smith will be put in toe to leather tonight for the Leflore Rattlers.
So the ball at the 44-yard line of BC Rain. They're going to send back Tristan Page. He's setting up at about his own 9-yard line to receive the punt from Smith.
Want to make sure you stay in your lanes here if you're the Leflore Rattlers.
Smith hits a line drive, and it almost falls dead near the 2, but it bounces into the end zone. So we'll get our first look at the Rain offense led by Amari Yelding. He's a sophomore, 48% passer, has 4 passing touchdowns on the year. But the Red Raiders offense goes through the guy you talked about, Bryce Dowland. Dowland has over 500 yards on the ground with 7 touchdowns for a 7.72 yard per rush average. He can score out wide as well, Corey. He's caught 2 receptions for scores. Yelding does throw it. He'll be looking for Antonio Williams, who's averaging 9 yards of reception with 14 grabs on the year. Up front, the offensive line is young. They have 4 sophomores and 1 junior, and they average about 237 pounds across that offensive line. And maybe someone on the line moved. Corey, we have a flag.
Yeah, that's going to be an offensive false start on Jamar Petway, the right guard, 5'10", 240-pound freshman. It's going to cost the Red Raiders 5 yards and put them behind the sticks in this situation.
1st and 15 coming up here for BC Rain before they even snap the ball. Our white hat tonight is going to be Mike Beckton and his crew. We'll get their names on momentarily. So BC Rain backed up to the 15-yard line. Our first time covering the Red Raiders this year. And they give it to Dowland, who goes up the middle. How about a 5-yard gain back to the original line of scrimmage? Going to be at the 20-yard line.
All you can ask is for a nice stop by Kevin Moore, going low on the bowling ball, and that's how you take out a horse. You cut out his legs from underneath him. That way it puts yourself now in a second down and 10-yard to go situation.
There's Mike Beckton and his crew as they jumped on the screen there for you. Beckton's a pretty quiet guy, so Corey, hopefully he may not have to chat too much for us tonight. I think we're going to be using the microphone here at Ladd Stadium. 2nd and 10 coming up. Yeldon going to throw it. Overthrows his receiver. That pass incomplete. It was intended for Antonio Williams. 3rd down and 10 coming up here for the Red Raiders.
Well, when you put yourself down and 1st down and 15 yards to go, it creates a total new play sheet for offensive coordinator Thamus Davis. BC Rain comes in averaging 18.5 points per game, but penalties are something you want to keep an eye on. That's why it was so critical for Leflore to punt there and flip the field and not decide to go for it, because now you give your defense a better opportunity.
Ball sitting at the 20-yard line of BC Rain. The line to gain is the 30. They need 10. Yeldon has time. Finds a man over the middle. Gets that pass complete. That's going to be enough for a 1st down. Hooks up with Antonio Williams. Take a look at the Leflore defense. The Rattlers play a 3-4 with Sam linebacker Kevin Moore leading the way on defense. He plays with a raw nastiness and a high motor. The coaches love this. Look for him to make tackles everywhere tonight. The Rattlers secondary has experience at the corners with junior Tamatra Wright and senior Kyle Bush. They'll be trying to clamp down on the Red Raiders' passing attack. Up front on the defensive line, sophomore defensive end Deshaun Foreman is going to get the start tonight and try to pressure Yeldon from the edge. 1st and 10 from the 32 of BC Rain.
But that was a great play call by offensive coordinator, getting the ball to Antonio Williams underneath route. He was not accounted for by the linebackers, and because of it, they were able to pick up a critical 3rd down and long situation, which now equates in a 1st down and 10 situation, and there's going to be a flag here on pre-snap.
On the far side once again.
Snap, false start on the offense, 5-yard penalty remains.
So that is 2 false start penalties against this offensive line. We just talked about them. They're young, Corey. 4 sophomores and 1 junior. Coach Yeldon knows it, but he also knows if he can hold on to these guys, his future's going to look pretty good over at BC Rain, too.
Again, a very, very young team. When you start talking about only 7 seniors and 1 junior on this roster, that's amazing, knowing that what kind of youth you have coming back.
They hand that one off to Dowland. He's a sophomore. Going to push it up to about the 34, maybe 35-yard line. It'll bring up 2nd, and we'll call it about 8 here for the Red Raiders.
The Leflore Rattlers, led by defensive coordinator Anthony Anderson, comes in. The Rattlers giving up 41.2 points per game, but when you start talking about what they've given up and the growth that they showed over these first 5 weeks, it's been tremendous.
That's right. They've improved pretty much every week, Corey. Got some points going, and they've been close to getting the victory. Coach Burney said he know that one at Satsuma got away from him. He wished he could get it back, but he said he learned a lot from that loss right there. 2nd and 7 is what Ladd is going to call it, so let's go with that. Man in motion. They fake the jet sweep, and Yeldon's going to keep it as he passes the 40-yard line, close to the 1st down marker, Corey.
The stop on defense by the Leflore Rattlers, made by Kevin Moore. Again, the junior is one of our impact players, but Yeldon is the coach's son, and they have some interesting conversations on their way to school every morning.
I'm sure
talking about football and how he can become a better leader as the quarterback. And it's always great the way you can lean on dad, and he can be both your coach and dad. and he can tell you the negative and the positive. But
That's right.
I like this young man who's at quarterback, Amari Yeldon, the sophomore for BC Rain.
Ball at the 42-yard line. 1st and 10. Pass is complete as the Red Raiders get that one out.
Kyle Bush, the strong safety, 5'10", 160-pound junior on the stop.
That pass brought in by Shane Lockett of the Red Raiders. And we have a Red Raider down. Let's try to get a number on him. Looks like number 70. That's right guard Jamar Petway. They moved him over to moved him over to right guard for this ball game, Corey.
Our first injury timeout here.
Petway is a
This young man
sophomore.
is okay.
Going to take it down to the field and check in with Kimberly Dunn. She has a guest with her.
Yes, I'm here with Miss Courtney Still, who is the Director of Marketing and Public Relations at Bishop State. How are you doing this evening?
Doing very well. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. So can you tell us, I know you have a lot going on at Bishop, but will you tell us a little bit about your Fix It program that y'all have?
Absolutely. So our Fix It program is a program that's dedicated for our youth, the out-of-school youth, ages 17 to 24. It's an opportunity to teach them skills in the construction as well as the automotive repair industries. So it's about 12 to 25 weeks, depending on which course they decide to take. And once they pass the initial course, they get some national certified training. Once they pass that initial part, they'll get a $300 bonus, which is for them to buy tools for their program. And then once they continue into the actual program, whether it's construction or automotive repair, then they'll receive a $20 per day stipend. So there's really an opportunity for them to make a little money while they're learning a trade at the same time.
That sounds like some wonderful opportunities, and you also have some opportunities for your adult programs, and it's more than just getting a GED. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so a lot of times you think of adult education, you think you can need a high school diploma or your GED. However, we have a career pathways program that allows you to learn get some skills in some other areas, including hospitality and culinary arts, forklift training, earning your CDL, and some other things, so that you may just have always wanted to learn how to drive a truck, or you may have always wanted to go into the culinary arts department field, or maybe you want a career change, and so now you can go into the medical field with some of our CNA or medical programs. So that's another option for them.
And registration's now open. So what is this registration for, and when can they register?
Absolutely. So we try to provide opportunities for our students to register throughout the year, because August is not always a good time for everyone. So this is our mini term 2 session. It's open right now. We have some classes online that you're available to register for. Classes will begin October 14th and they'll end in December. So it's a great time to go ahead and if you not want to give a whole semester to it, this is a good time to get a few classes in during the middle of the semester.
And with everything going on with COVID, you also have some opportunities for a vaccination drive that Bishop State is hosting, and you have a partner with that. So can you tell us about that?
Absolutely. So we're partnering with Franklin Primary Health Center to provide a vaccination and testing drive for COVID. We're providing these testing, we're providing vaccinations as well as a booster shot next Thursday, October 7th from 9:30 to noon on the main campus. So Franklin Primary will bring out their mobile vehicle, and they'll be on Broad Street, so make sure you stop by, and let's try and beat this coronavirus.
Yes, well, thank you so much. A lot of great things going on at Bishop. Thank you so much for taking the time to tell us about it.
Absolutely, anytime. Thank you.
Great job, Kim. Speaking with Courtney Steele there. On the previous play, Dowdland was stripped, Corey. That's a fumble, and Leflore takes over. Great field position on the 44-yard line as Perriman runs it up the middle, past the 40, close to the 35.
Yeah, I mean, that was a huge takeaway by our impact player, Kevin Moore. And you just look at him rip the ball away from Dowland. There's a clean handoff, and he's got the ball high and tight to his body. But there it is, the can opener drills, what Nick Saban calls it. He's able to open that can and rip that football away, and it's a takeaway for the Leflore Rattlers, now into BC Rain territory.
2nd and 3 coming up, our first turnover of the ball game. And that play happened right after Jamar Petway was taken off the field, went off the field in his own power. Back to Perriman. Boy, he met at the line, right at the line of scrimmage. About a 2-yard loss there, Corey. Back to the 40 for Leflore.
Tyrone Spratt, the 5'10", 210-pound senior on the stop, makes his 6th tackle for loss on the season. And now you're looking at a 3rd down and close to 6 yards to go for the Leflore Rattlers. And you're in a good situation here. Throw the ball on the perimeter. That's where your speed and strength is on this offense.
2 receivers on the near side here. Play action to Perriman. They get it to Miguel Fleming, and he tries to take that draft of the screen set up, gets the first down as he's at the 30-yard line. Great play call right there by the Rattlers.
There it is. To the perimeter wide receivers is where the Leflore Rattlers have a lot of strength. And a lot of strength in Coach Sean Burney's life is his mom, Linda, who's listening in Ohio, and his bonus mom listening in Lineville, Alabama, Miss Leela. So thank you for tuning in to the MCPSS television broadcast and watching your son tonight on the sidelines for the Leflore Rattlers.
Absolutely. People watch local and people watch far away thanks to that internet. Little jet sweep to Demir Smith. Coach Yeldon said they've got to stop 7 tonight, Corey, if they want to win.
No question about it. I mean, Demir Smith is just a flat-out stud that it's hard to be stopped for the Leflore Rattlers. Demir Smith, the 6'2", 190-pound senior on that end around. And, you know, that's what you want to do. You want to find a way to get your playmakers the football, whether it's on jet sweeps, whether it's passing the ball to the perimeter. You just want to have 11 and 7. I call it 7-11. The convenience store always needs to be open.
Smith and Fleming, 7-11. That's a good one, Corey. That's a good one. Quarterback change here for Leflore. No, I'm sorry. Mistaken at my numbers. LeSure just going to keep it. Tries to go out on the edge. Remember, he's a freshman. Running that ball a little slow, a little apprehensive. Leflore is going to take a loss on that play. It's going to be 3rd down and long coming up here for the Rattlers, maybe about 15 yards.
Look at Justin Harper, the young man who gives up maybe 3 inches, waits for his teammate to come and help him out, Tyrone Spratt. But that's a great tag team tackle for the BC Rain Red Raiders. Going to bring up 3rd down, and we'll call it 17 yards to go for the Rattlers.
You talked about Harper. Coach Yeldon told us he's small, but he plays larger than his pads. He can definitely put a hit on you. Trying to connect with Smith. That ball floated, and it does drop right into Demir Smith's hands as he eludes one of the Red Raiders defenders and get close to the 15-yard line. 1st down for Leflore to end the red zone.
And you look at Demir Smith coming up with a huge catch for the Leflore Rattlers. Dropped it right in the basket. The defender was a little bit slow coming to it. Ultimately, the tackle was made by Shane Lockett, the 5'10", 185-pound senior. But now it puts Leflore in the red zone area for the first time tonight. And it's going to be 1st and 10 Rattlers. Looks like the ball is going to be spotted right at the Red Raider 15-yard line, Al.
Hand off to Perryman from LeSure. He stopped right there at the line of scrimmage at the 15. 2nd and 10 coming up from Leflore. They can get a 1st down without having to score.
Tyrone Spratt from his defensive end position, maybe the 3rd or 4th time tonight I've called his name. Defensive coordinator Greg Smith lugs this young man. BC Rain gives up 22 points per game, but again, I saw them with a big-time Saturday win over Alberta a couple of weeks ago here on Saturday morning at Ladd Peebles Stadium, and now you're looking at the Leflore Rattlers trying to attack this Red Raider defense here at 2nd down and 10 yards to go.
No gain on the play. LeSure connects with Smith. That pass is incomplete. He was not able to bring it in and make a football move. So it's 3rd and 10 coming up for the Rattlers once again.
Well, what you want to do if you're this Red Raider defense is key on find 7 and 11. And if you're able to do that and get some pressure and have that pocket collapse here, you're in good shape. But no play for the Leflore Rattlers here on 3rd down and 10 will be a bad one if it's run past the sticks. That's the biggest thing, Al. Run your routes past the sticks.
Trips at the top. Fleming down here by himself on the near side. They're trying to set the screen up to Smith. That pass is intercepted. That's Harper. No, I'm sorry, not Harper on the move.
It is.
That is Harper. Okay, I thought it was 4. That's 14. That is Harper. That's an interception.
He just read the quarterback's eyes and went underneath that route. As you look at quarterback just eyes his wide receiver the entire time, and what a wonderful job of Justin Harper sitting on that route. And he almost takes and makes a house call, but turnover for turnover. Now the Red Raiders take over right where they turn the football over, and they will take over 1st and 10 right at the Leflore Rattler 48-yard line. Officially, they're going to spot it at the 47.
47, yeah.
1 more yard gain on that INT.
Second time, BC Rain taking possession of the football, and they're going to the air immediately. Overthrows his receiver. You can see the arm of Yielding right there trying to connect with Carl Quinney. 2nd and 10 coming up for BC Rain.
Well, if you're the Leflore Rattlers, you cannot allow anyone to get behind you, especially if you're not in press coverage. It's one thing if you're at the line of scrimmage in press coverage. If you're playing 4 or 5 yards off of the wide receiver, you definitely should not get beat. And just a little bit overthrown, maybe by about 2 yards, but you can look for offensive coordinator Thamus Davis to go back to that, especially if there's no press coverage at the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 10. Yielding looking to the sidelines to get the call. They're going to go back to the man, Bryce Dowdland, just going up the middle, north and south, just past the 35-yard line. That's a first down and more for the Red Raiders.
Kevin Moore, the 6'2", 210-pound junior on the tackle, but you can't tackle this young man high. You're going to have to go ahead and take his legs out. If you don't take his legs out, it will be 1st and 10 or punishing yardage situation for this strong running back.
Back to Dowland once again, but the Rattlers are not going to have it, Corey. They strike quick, and that's a loss. Behind the line of scrimmage, his forward progress is stopped.
That's exactly what you want for the Rattlers. Ashton Yates, the 6'1", 190-pound sophomore on the stop for Leflore. And now you're looking at a 2-yard loss on the play, 2nd down and 12 yards to go.
Just like Coach Yielding said, they need to stop 7 for Leflore. Coach Burney said the opposite. We got to stop 3 for BC Rain because he's pretty much the catalyst for their offense, rushing and receiving. Little play action. Yielding rolling to the left and makes the connection with this receiver. That's a first down. Shane Lockett coming out of that slot position, Corey, and BC Rain inside of the red zone.
From his H-back position, makes his 8th reception of the season, does Lockett. But that's a great job of Yielding, rolling the pocket, making sure he throws the accurate pass to Lockett.
Right.
And the hardest thing is when you have a wide open receiver is to hit him on the numbers, and that's exactly what Yielding did. Rolled to his left, threw to his right, and was able to complete that pass. Fresh set of downs for the Red Raiders.
They're going to send Dowland out and line up to the receiver position. Double stack receivers. That handoff almost fumbled by the back who takes it from Yielding. Marion Davis on the carry. It'll be 2nd down for BC Rain inside of the red zone. We're scoreless. And speaking of scoreless, Corey, a scoreless first quarter. Both teams get into the red zone, but no one gets any points. So we'll come back in the second quarter and see if who can strike first. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Bishop State.
When we say Bishop State Community College is a great place to start, we really mean it. Want to major in psychology, engineering, criminal justice, English, history, or something else? Take your general education courses with us, then transfer your credits to the four-year university of your choice. Want to learn a trade and go straight into the workforce? We have the programs and the trainings to help you land a high-wage and high-demand career. Save time and thousands while conveniently taking classes safely online or on campus. Register now, bishop.edu.
We welcome you back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Bishop State. I'm Al Wheaton, Corey LeBounty. On the sidelines, we have Kimberly Dunn. Corey, we had a scoreless first quarter, but a very entertaining first quarter. 2 turnovers by each team. Both of them getting to the red zone, and right now, BC Rain trying to score with their entrance into the red zone, 2nd and 10. With the ball at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, with the turnovers, we have not had points off of turnovers. And if Red Raiders are able to cash in right here on this drive, not only will it be the first points of the night, it'll be the first point scored off of turnovers also.
Dowland in motion. They fake to him. Throws it over the top to Lockett. He is close to the 5-yard line. It's enough for the first down. So nice reception by Shane Lockett.
Yeah, I mean, you're now at first down and goal to go, and Lockett's come away with a couple of nice catches on this drive. And the stop made by the Leflore Rattlers secondary.
Red Raiders just taking their time. That's something Coach Burney said they're going to do, try to make the clock their ally tonight when they have the ball, extend drives, pick up first downs, but most importantly, score. Looking like we have a Wildcat formation here. And I think Coach Yeldon wants to take the time out to discuss this one just a bit further, Corey.
Well, you definitely want to make sure everyone's on the same page because you don't want to lose yardage in the red zone area, especially putting yourself in a first and goal to go situation where you have negative yardage.
BSN Sports, where you can get team apparel and equipment from baseball to wrestling and all sports in between. If you need it, they have it. BSN Sports, the heart of the game, online at bsnsports.com. Got to thank Firehouse Subs and Jim and Susie Sherman at the Greelite Road location. They feed us very well every week, so enjoy more subs and save more lives with a portion of subs purchased at Firehouse Subs going to the Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation. And lastly, Bishop State, with 4 city campuses and offering students a quality and affordable education. Visit bishop.edu to learn more. Bishop State, a great place to start. And we had the Director of Marketing and Public Relations, Courtney Steele. She gave some great information about Bishop State in the first quarter.
She really did. I mean, it's right here in our own backyard, and just a great opportunity to get started. And what I like is they work with the high school students to get college credits, and they're accepting everybody here in this late term. So it's a situation of, if you want to go ahead and further your education, you can do so right at Bishop State Community College.
All right, Red Raiders going to come out in that Wildcat formation again. Dowling right there at the 10-yard line, going to take the direct snap. They fake it. He's trying to find a gap to get through, but all he finds are 2 or 3 Rattlers on the tackle.
Great stop by the Leflore Rattlers in the linebacker situation. One of those Leflore Rattlers are going to be Kevin Moore. Make sure that there is no yardage gained here. Second down and goal to go now for the Red Raiders from right at the Rattlers' 6-yard line now.
And that's why he's an impact player, Corey. As you said, they're going to call his name a lot tonight. We talked about him in that Leflore defense. He's got a high motor, man, and when you got that high motor, you're going to be all over the field. And I know you've called his name at least 5 or 6 times in this ball game so far.
Now what you have to do, though, is make sure you don't overload one side, and BC Rain run to that right side of the line of scrimmage to where their strength is. Numbers on that right side.
Ball on the 6-yard line. Dowling's got a hole. Can he get through there? Can he stretch it out? I believe he's going to be down right at the 1-yard line. Nice run by Bryce Dowling.
And you had to play the numbers game there because that's where Leflore was overloaded to. And there's going to be a penalty flag on the play right around the 17-yard line that may go against BC Rain, or it might be a headshot to the quarterback after it was handed off. But it came from the back judge. Oh, excuse me, the white
I was going to say that came from Mike Beckton, Corey, back where that flag is. So possibly could be a late hit on someone. We shall see, but a nice run by Dowling right there because the ball's at the 1-yard line. All they could do is get half the distance to the goal at this point, so put it at the 1-foot line, if that. See what Mike Beckton has to say about it.
Bucks waving off that flag.
They're going to wave the flag off as they discussed it. So there's the ball at the 1-yard line. First and goal here coming up for the Red Raiders. I'm sorry, 3rd and goal. You're right, Corey. That was 2nd down. As a look at the replay here.
He stretches out.
He tries to stretch out at the end, but his knee was already down.
And one of the things you want to be careful of when you're stretching out, don't fumble that ball, but you have now a big-time running back that weighs almost 200 pounds, and we're going to have a timeout. I do believe that the Rattlers now.
Called by Leflore. So Coach Yeldon has taken a timeout, and Coach Barney has taken a timeout. 2 timeouts remaining here in the second quarter for each team. Last year, BC Rain defeated Leflore 25-20, and Leflore and BC Rain have played each other 17 times, with BC Rain leading the series 10-7. But we know most importantly the number tonight is 3, Corey, because in 5A Region 1, 7-team region, 3 wins will probably get you a number 4 seed. Let's check in with Kimberly Dunn right quick. She has something to add. What's going on, Kim?
Before the game, I was able to talk with the coaches and ask them, what is the mental mindset of your team tonight, and how do you feel you're going to get this win? Because both of them are very optimistic. Just like you said, even though Leflore has yet to have a win this season, he said, we are not out of this. We still have a chance to get this win. All that we need to do is win tonight, and we could still have a possibility about being in the playoffs. And so that mental mindset was very similar for both of them. They said that we've had a lot of growth this season, and we are in control of our own destinies. We are able to control what the outcome of this football game is going to be. So both of them are very positive about what could become of this game and very hopeful that they will come away with the win tonight.
3rd and goal, ball on the 1-yard line, and Yeldon's going to get the push from his running back.
He's going to be in.
And he's going to be in, Corey. I like how Dowling came to the rescue and gave him that extra push in the back there.
Well, you're talking about Keyshawn Blackman and Cordario Dixon, Jamarcus Coach, Jamar Petway, and Tyler Simmons, along with his running back, Browse Dowling, getting that push up front on the line. And that's just a great job of BC Rain finishing a drive, scoring points off of this turnover, and it's going to be our first score of the night. But we'll talk about whether this is going to be a score. It was marked officially as a score, but it's going to be a post-possession foul to where it will be assessed on the kickoff.
Right, that's a 1-yard touchdown for Yeldon there, Corey. So they'll assess that one on the kick. Joel Hernandez on for the extra point.
And again, Coach Yeldon coming in with only 7 seniors on this roster, 1 junior. If you had to tell me the team to look for within the next couple of years, it is going to be this young Red Raider team, as they're starting to get acclimated to what Coach Yeldon expects. And I love the fact that he just demands excellence, and you're going to do it the coach's way, or you're not going to be a part of the program. And he demands study hall time, demands that you get it done in the books also, and as evident as the guys who are out here on the field giving it their all.
On the offense, 5-yard penalty. Replay the down.
Corey, that is the 3rd false start penalty against the Red Raiders tonight, but this one comes at a critical juncture because this is the extra point.
You know, when I saw them against Alberta, they had an opportunity to kick a field goal, and they were pretty successful, had to go for it on a 2-point try, but they do have a young kicker who is very able to put it through the big H up there.
Joel Hernandez also plays soccer as well, and the extra point is no good. 6-0. BC Rain on top of Leflore. You're watching MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Bishop State.
What's the matter, baby? You're not feeling good?
School-aged children are at a higher risk of getting and spreading germs and viruses. To help protect the spread, students are encouraged to stay home when sick. Parents, it's important for your child to remain at home at least 24 hours after they no longer have a fever of 100 degrees or higher without the use of medications. Please help us maintain a healthy learning environment.
Don't forget to mark your calendar. Coming up on October the 11th, it is Teachers' Workday. All schools will be closed. Kids will be out of school. It is Teachers' Workday, October the 11th. So make sure you mark your calendar. And Corey, I can tell you at my house, my twins have already marked the calendar.
The kids always love an opportunity not to be around their classmates when they don't have to be in this situation. And make sure you mark that calendar, because teachers will be there, but students won't.
So that penalty has been assessed against Leflore right here. BC Rain will be kicking the ball off on the Leflore 45-yard line. We're able to get the scoring drive summary up there. We can let you all know, good drive done right there by the Red Raiders. Tyrone Deloche going to be kicking this ball off. for BC Rain. And they're going to go with a little onside, try to catch Leflore. And the Rattlers are ready for it. Make sure you be ready for it. Halftime, we'll have the Chick-Fil-A Halftime Trivia Challenge. Didn't get to do it last week, but we're going to do it tonight. Kimberly Dunn will climb into the stands and select a spectator, ask them a question. It'll be multiple choice. Of course, that's what Corey requires for the Chick-fil-A Halftime Trivia Challenge, so they can try to win a Chick-fil-A prize pack. So make sure you stick around for halftime. And I'm sure, Corey, we're probably going to get some entertainment from the bands. Right now, the bass drum section from Leflore is handling us pretty well. I've had to adjust my volume 6 times so far.
No question about it. And Leflore has a little help tonight from the alumni band also.
I heard that some of the veterans were coming out to help the youngsters, so we were looking forward to seeing halftime performances from both of the teams. First and 10, ball on the 32-yard line for the Rattlers, down 6 points as they go with a little jet sweep action on the carry. Severio Singleton picks up a couple. It'll be second down for the Rattlers coming up. That scoring drive for BC Rain, 9 plays, 47 yards, Corey. But unfortunately, another false start penalty. They didn't make the extra point, so we'll see if they have to chase points later tonight.
Well, if you're the Leflore Rattlers and you're quarterback DeAnthony LeSure, you just want to shake that last interception off. Play this possession right here. Find your playmakers 11 and 7 in open space.
LeSure is going to throw that one. Boy, we got a lot of contact. I see 1 flag, 2 flag. Miguel Fleming was literally wrapped up. It's almost like they were some love bugs wrapped up together, Corey. Wow.
And that's an easy call for the officials to make, as LeSure has that side-on throw, and it's not a clean throwing motion, but it's very effective for this young man. As I saw him throw close to 3 touchdowns against Satsuma a couple weeks ago.
15 yards. Results in the first half.
So there's the PI right there, 15 yards against the Red Raiders. They're racking up some penalties tonight.
But make your corners cover. I mean, get the ball to 11 and 7, where whether 7's in motion, whether 7's on crossing routes and slants inside the seam area, but just find a way to get 11 and 7 the football. And I tell you what, Josh Scott has some sure hands also. So Leflore has a nice receiving core. They just have to make sure they hold on to the football.
Trip receivers to the bottom. Lamar Horn at the top all by himself. First and 10 on the 49 as Smith goes into motion to the top. LeSure connects with Scott. You just talked about him, Corey. They'll give him credit for about a 2-yard reception. It'll be 2nd and 8 coming up for the Rattlers.
And what you do is you put your playmaker in motion, Demir Smith, and try to get the defense to go for the eye candy. But that's a great job of the BC Rain Red Raider defense, making sure the Leflore Rattlers weren't going to get any additional yardage. Positive yardage on first down. Mike Jones with the stop for the Red Raiders.
That young man, the only 3-year starter on the team, Coach Yelding told us he's not big on stats and numbers, but he's the team captain, and he does it by leadership and setting an example. They hand that one off to Singleton. Ball is out. Ball is out. And I believe the Red Raiders are all on top of it, Corey.
That's one of the things that if you're Severio Singleton, you just have to shake that off. I mean, you did everything you could do besides continue to take care of the football. But credit the Red Raider defense for, again, raking at that football and getting their 3rd takeaway, I do believe, of this contest here.
Oh, that's their second one.
Second takeaway for the Red Raider.
Harper had that interception earlier. But right now, Leflore has 2 turnovers, and BC Rain right at the midfield stripe with a 6-0 lead. Under 9 minutes remaining here in the first half.
3 total turnovers, 2 by Leflore, 1 by BC Rain, and you're in a situation now where they're yelled and you're trying to go for the kill shot.
Right, Corey likes to say that. They throw it deep. Did he get a foot in? Did Lockett get his foot in? I believe at the 14-yard line. We'll look at the replay. Great reception by Shane Lockett.
Yeah, all he needed was 1 foot in, and he absolutely got that. And you're in a situation to where Yeldon gave him just enough space to make that play. What a high-angle pass, and I think he got 1 in.
I believe he did, Corey.
And it's going to be that left foot, a little toe tap there. Good job of trying to stay in bounds, and he's going to have that opportunity now to be in the red zone area for the Red Raiders for the 2nd time tonight.
Ball just inside the 15-yard line. First and 10 for BC Rain. High snap. Dowling runs into his own guard, but look at him move. Corey weaving, keeping those legs going, and makes something out of nothing.
Absolutely. It was a negative yardage situation. And to Matra Wright, the free safety junior, comes up and makes the stop on the play. But, again, you have to tackle low if you're the Leflore Rattlers. You have to break down and make sure that you're not trying to tackle these Red Raiders high, because you're not going to be able to do that. They're going to get plenty of yards after contact. Now you're at 2nd down and 4 yards to go from right at the 8-yard line of the Rattlers.
Great job by Dowling picking up 6 yards on that carry. I mean, he literally ran into the, as we call it now, it wasn't a butt fumble, but he ran into his guard, ran right up on him, and just bounced right off like a pinball. It go back to him. Look at that hole, Corey LeBounty. You could have ran through there and scored a touchdown just like Bryce Dowling did. 8-yard scamper for the Red Raiders.
This young man, I told you, runs low, and after that first takeaway to where Kevin Moore just ripped it away from him, he's running with power and authority. He did that 2 weeks ago against the Alberta Warriors. This young man is a bruising back, 5'7", 195-pound sophomore, now has his 8th rushing touchdown of the season for the Red Raider program.
That's his 6th one on the ground. Get another look here at Joel Hernandez. On for the extra point. The Leflore crowd silenced Corey. Low snap, bumbles on the ground. And it is good. Red Raiders on top, 13-0 over the Rattlers. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Bishop State.
It's the 2021 MCPSS Virtual Signature Academy Showcase, October 19th from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. Register at signatureacademyshowcase.vfairs.com. Representatives from all 12 high schools will be on hand to talk about our academies. This event is open to all 7th and 8th graders and their parents. So register today and have your questions answered regarding your child's transition into high school and into a life-changing career path. It's the 2021 MCPSS Virtual Signature Academy Showcase, October 19th from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m.
Together we've got this. Together we've got
BC Rain on top of Leflore, 13-0. After that 8-yard scamper by Bryce Dowling. Corey, that was a 3-play, 51-yard drive. They only used 61 seconds to score a touchdown.
Bottom line is it is 13 points off turnovers for this Red Raider program so far. And, again, Leflore just has to make sure they value the football and answer this BC Rain score on this drive.
On the return for the Rattlers, Savion Perriman. Nice return there up to the 40, 42, maybe 43-yard line as he fights for extra yards on the end. Nice return. Now the Rattlers have great field position right here, Corey.
And you want to go ahead and find a way to capitalize off of this field position. And, you know, you've had a lot of success so far as Yeldon's 5 out of 7 for 83 yards passing, 1 rushing touchdown. And Dowling, we mentioned how much authority he runs with, 8 rushes for 42 yards and 1 touchdown for him as well.
There's that scoring drive right there. Bryce Dowling just talked about it, Corey. 8-yard touchdown run, 3 plays, 51 yards, only 1 minute and 1 second goes off the clock. But Leflore sitting at the 44-yard line. This is great field position for Sean Burney and his Rattlers to try to get on the board and even this ball game back up. Up the middle goes Perriman with the carry. Nice run right there, about 4 yards, Corey.
Yeah, Perriman runs hard. The 5'9", 175-pound senior picks up positive yardage for Leflore, and that's what you want if you're on first down situation. Offensive coordinator Cepeda Lewis. Again, the Rattlers coming in averaging 10 points per game, but when you pick up positive yardage on first down, it changes the dynamics of what you're able to do. And no need to be in a hurry. Get your offense in positive yardage situations on first down and give them an opportunity to catch their breath as well.
Just under 7 minutes here remaining in the first half. Smith in motion. They toss it to him. So far tonight, the Red Raiders have done a good job containing Demir Smith. They've only been able to hit him on little dink and dunks and little plays like that, Corey. It's 3rd down and 6 coming up here for the Rattlers.
See, now what you do is you continue to put Demir Smith in motion, and then you allow him to run a route as a wide receiver, because what happens is if nobody bumps over from a linebacker coverage standpoint, he'll be wide open on the perimeter. If he's able to turn his body north and south, we know what kind of speed Demir Smith has, so that's why you continue to put this young man in motion.
Double receivers on each side. They're just going to toss it out to Pearman right quick. He's got the 1st down, still on his feet and moving for the Rattlers as they move into Red Raiders territory. Nice toss right there to Pearman. He did a lot of work. We call it yak. That's yards after catch, Corey.
DeAnthony LeSure does a wonderful job of going to his check down. The swing pass out of the backfield, and the Rattlers knew exactly where the sticks were. Perryman makes his 5th reception of the season, now has over 55 yards receiving on the season, but a fresh set of downs for Leflore, and I love how patient they're being, not rushing to the line of scrimmage, because, again, that gives your defense an opportunity to rest on the sidelines, and, again, it gives your offensive line a chance to take a deep breath, refresh themselves, and reward themselves for being able to help your offense pick up a 1st down.
If this is your first time seeing the Rattlers this season, they went to numbers on the side of the helmet, something Coach Burney wanted to institute. We're used to seeing them with the L. And right there, Perryman, once again, into Red Raiders territory at about the 26, I'm sorry, about the, 24, 25. That's going to be another 1st down, Corey.
Now, the biggest thing for Leflore is ball security at this point in time. As you're knocking on the red zone area, it's going to be right inside here.
I think the 23, yeah.
Right inside, almost inside the red zone area, maybe 3 yards outside of it officially.
They're knocking on it, Corey. So the ball on the 23-yard line. And those cleats looking real nice that they gave, Senior Bowl gave to him with that orange.
And I love the fact that Jim Nagy and the Senior Bowl are giving back.
On the offense.
I agree with you.
To many high schools, it's not just
Leflore, yeah. It's
around the Mobile, Baldwin County areas, assessing what the needs are, whether it's a trailer for a football program to haul equipment, or whether it is cleats, or whether it's game pants or practice jerseys. But the Senior Bowl, we know that this is the home of the Senior Bowl, and it starts here for those that want to go from high school to college and find themselves playing back in the Senior Bowl.
Great job for them to give back. So that's going to pin Leflore back 5 yards. Ball on the 27-yard line, 1st and 15 off that false start. We have a whistle. I think Coach Barney may have called a timeout, Corey, and he does. Notice on our screen tonight, we also have timeout designations on our graphics. So right now, let's take a look at the coaches' comparison while we have a break. Leflore just with 1 timeout remaining. Lawrence Yelding, his 3rd year over at BC Rain. 3 years as a head coach so far, 6-8 overall. He has a .308 winning percentage. Graduate of Alabama State. Corey, his favorite color is red. And Sean Burney, his 1st year at Leflore. Now, he's coached before. He's had 2 years before as well. 8-8, 8-18 overall for a .308 winning percentage. Coach Yelding has a .250 winning percentage. Coach Burney graduated from Jacksonville State. And look at there, his favorite color is crimson. So guys are close in colors and what they're liking. Coach Yeldon also told me, asked him what was the first concert he attended. He said a Def Jam tour with Run DMC. I said, man, I went to that one too, man. So these guys very entertaining.
And Coach Yeldon, again, is making his mark known on DIP. And
that's right.
He's related to Cedric Yelding, the South Alabama Basketball Hall of Famer. And Cedric Yelding had an opportunity to come and watch the quarterback and relative of him.
Nephew, yeah.
That is his nephew.
That's right.
And I just love it when you have a family of athletes that support one another, and we see a lot of that here in the MCPSS.
So they've made an adjustment. The ball's on the 28-yard line. 1st and 15. LeSure gets it out to Scott. Scott barrels his way inside of the 15, back to close to the original line of scrimmage. So we'll say he's at the 23, Corey.
You hear pads popping as Scott tried to run over Harper in that situation. Harper said, hey, look, I'm going to go low because I'm a little guy. I can't – you'll give me a piggyback if you go high. But look at the Rattler support. I'm that Rattler.
I like that.
Plenty
I like
of I'm that Rattler support here in the stands tonight for this Leflore program as the football team trying to get on the scoreboard here with 3:50 remaining in the second quarter.
This is a very critical possession for Leflore. Because BC Rain will be receiving the second half kickoff, so they want to get some points right now if they can. Very important, Corey Singleton with that carry as we are getting close to 3 minutes. Bernie has one timeout remaining. You want to get some points, something out of this drive.
Absolutely, but see, now you're at 3rd and 11, and now the tempo of the offense has gone a little bit faster here to try to keep BC Rain on their heels.
Going to keep it, Demir Smith, as he went into the quarterback slot. Did not drop it, possessed the ball. That's a first down as he is near the 10-yard line at the 11. The Rattlers in the red zone trying to score.
And all of a sudden, as I said, they took their time. They make the quick change, go to the Rattler formation to where you have a ready-to-strike athlete on the quarterback position and is able to get into the red zone area. And I love that change of pace by the Leflore Rattlers.
Very good.
You go and you take your time. Now you see how they're walking up to the line of scrimmage in no hurry, but the last play they caught BC Rain not able to substitute.
And, Corey, that's one way you can get the ball into Smith's hand. Put him in the quarterback position, direct snap to him so he can take control. Over the top, that pass intercepted by the Red Raiders right there at the 2-yard line. Intended for Scott. That pass intended for Josh Scott. Intercepted by BC Rain. Jordan Vines. Oh, man, that's going to be a killer for Leflore.
Jordan Vines with the takeaway in the red zone area right at the 1-yard line.
Wow.
For the Red Raiders. And Jordan Vines, the free safety, 5'9", 160-pound freshman. And Jordan Vines' dad, Tommy Vines, is a Leflore graduate. So it has to be bittersweet for Tommy Vines in that situation, knowing that his son just got an interception against the school he went to.
3rd turnover tonight for the Rattlers. 2 interceptions and 1 fumble. And 2:36 remaining here. BC Rain, they're going to try to put a drive together, Corey, and get some points. Coach Yelding told me he is comfortable with his kicker about 30 yards and in, so they know where they need to get to if they're going to try to kick a field goal if they don't score a touchdown. Pass incomplete, in and out of the hands of Antonio Williams, a bit behind him, but it stops the clock for BC Rain.
Well, it's one of the situations to where now it's 2nd down and 10 yards to go. You can still afford to take your kill shot, especially if you're able to pick up half the yardage here on 2nd down. But, again, if you're Yelding, Amari Yelding, the 5'10", 180-pound sophomore, who has thrown for over 500 yards this season, take what the defense gives you. Don't force the football. Leflore did force the football in the red zone area and turned it over, but BC Rain right here, offensive coordinator Thamus Davis can open up the playbook here on the perimeter.
Tight bunch formation. Play action. Yelding rolling out to his left, throws across his body. That pass incomplete. Tried to hook up with Carl Quinney, and Leflore thinking they possibly had an interception there.
You look at the pocket being rolled, a great play call right there. Yeldon probably would have been better off to tuck this and run it for the additional yardage, and almost throws the interception, and he caught a break right there. Now 3rd down and 10 yards to go. The clock is stopped.
And the clock stopped again, Corey.
With
that's
2:23,
right.
So Leflore will have an opportunity to come up with a huge 3rd down stop.
And Coach Burney would not have had to call a timeout. He has 1 remaining. With Coach Yelding, 2 timeouts for the Red Raiders. 3rd and 10, ball on the 35. Setting up the screen for Dowland. Cannot get it to him. He had 2 big blockers right in front of him, Corey, ready to block.
Center Jamarcus Coates absolutely pancaked the Leflore Rattler on the play, and that was a 230-pound pancake by your center that if you're able to complete that, you're able to get positive yardage. But now you're in 4th down.
There's a flag on the 20,
Let's see what
Corey.
we have here.
Yep.
I don't know where the flag came from, but it had to be in the area of holding against the Rattlers.
I'm thinking Mike
Beck.
Beckton.
Roughing the 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Mike Beckton may have thrown it because the flag's at the 20-yard line, and they had the ball at the 35. So a penalty costly for the Rattlers. It's going to place BC Rain right at the midfield stripe. Corey, that's just what they needed after that turnover because that drive was pretty much coming to an end.
It was done. I mean, you're at third down and long yards to go, and they didn't have enough for the first down. Now you have a fresh set of downs right at the 50-yard line.
And we've seen the arm of Yelding earlier as he completed a long pass to Shane Lockett that led to their first score of the night. Yelding talking with Lockett and Dowdland in the backfield. Dowdland goes into motion. They give it off to Lockett. Nice run by the young man. About an 8-yard carry. Second and short coming up for the Red Raiders, and the clock is ticking. They got to move.
Well, if you're Leflore, you just have to bow up defensively and not get caught with this quick tempo that Rain can come with. And if they do come with the tempo, you just have to make sure you're in position for the stop. Darion Pugh with the stop for the Rattlers, and second down and close to 3 yards to go on the Rattler side of the field.
So that was a 7-yard carry by Lockett. 138. Rain using a lot of time here, Corey. They do have 2 timeouts remaining. High snap. Yelding takes it out of the belly of Dowdland. He's going to be sacked. Does not stop the clock. Clock's still running.
Guess who makes the stop for the Rattlers?
Let me take a guess. Kevin Moore.
Kevin Moore has been a machine here in the first half from a tackling standpoint for Leflore, but that timing off of the high snap
sure did.
Goes awry. And I'm glad he didn't pick Yelding up, because if he would have picked him up and dumped him, there would have been a penalty flag thrown.
That would have been another 15. Ball on the 49, sorry, the 48. Well, we'll call it the 49. That's what we're looking like here at Ladd. 3rd and 9 coming up here for BC Rain. We're under 1 minute. Red Raiders got the turnover as Leflore was trying to drive. Yelding going to air it out. That pass is incomplete, out of bounds as he tried to hook up with Carl Quinn. He stops the clock. About 38 seconds, Corey. It is fourth down coming up here. That was 3rd down.
Well, you're at 4th down and a long 9 yards to go now. And you're right, almost back to where you were moments ago when Leflore had that costly penalty called against him. But you just really lost a minute and a half off of the clock after that penalty.
Yeah, they just ate some clock up, didn't get any points out of this drive right here.
But if you're Leflore, you want to go ahead and set yourself up for a return. BC Rain does not want to commit a penalty here to give Leflore even better field position going into the half.
So Leflore is going to try to send their Mr. Excitement, Mr. Everything back to receive the punt from Tyrone Deloche. It's Demir Smith. Nice punt. Smith's going to field it at about the 28. Corey, you know he's exciting. They've got to stop number 7, but right now number 7 into BC Rain Red Raider territory. That guy is lethal. You cannot give him that much room. But a flag on the far side, Corey.
That's an easy call to make. Look at the top of your screen. Blocking the back coming right here. Boom, right there at the 23-yard line. That's going to be an easy call to make. Going to cost Leflore some very positive yardage. And because of it now, you're going to put yourself probably half the distance from where it was thrown. You'll probably be close to the 10-yard line.
Very unfortunate for Leflore, a costly penalty. That was an awesome return by Demir Smith as Mike Beckton and his crew discussed the call right there on the field.
Blocking the back on the floor from the spot of the foul. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
So 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Let's see where that's going to end up at, Corey. Quite costly for Leflore.
But here's the thing, Al. Leflore, if I'm not mistaken, has at least 3 turnovers, maybe even 4 here in the first half. And that's a situation to where that's what you have to clean up, because BC Rain has 13 points off of those turnovers.
Ball is placed on the 10-yard line. 25 seconds here remaining in the first quarter. I'm sorry, in the first half. The BC Rain Red Raiders band, they've been waiting in the north end zone a pretty good while, Corey. They're ready to get out on the field, give us some entertainment. Don't forget the Chick-Fil-A Halftime Trivia Challenge will be coming up as well with Kimberly Dunn trying to get a winner. Toss to Demir Smith. He tosses it back to Miguel Fleming. Little flea flicker action there, in and around. Gets past the 25-yard line, a first down. That will stop the clock momentarily for the Rattlers. Coach Burney doesn't have to use the timeout right quick.
That's how you go ahead and you find yourself in a situation where you get all your playmakers touching the football. And you're not able to you're not able to get what you want out of it in regards to catching BC Rain napping and getting your speedster in space. But at the same time, 14 seconds remaining here in the second quarter of action. I don't know if you're Leflore. You don't want to have your fourth turnover right here before the quarter ends.
No, you won't do that.
I think you want to value the football. And, again, if you can get positive yardage, get positive yardage. But don't throw that Hail Mary to where you're not only hurting your statistics, you're killing your confidence from those who are trying to get the football. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised here if you get a draw or some type of safe play right here if you're Leflore, because you definitely don't want to turn that football over for a fourth time and a half.
They decided to take that last time out. No need of keeping it in your back pocket. 14 seconds remain here in the second quarter. Mike Beckton signals for the play clock to start. So here we go, Corey. Leflore out of timeout. So if they get the first down, they would need to hopefully get out of bounds or pick it up and kill it. Maybe leave one more play. Let's see what they're going to go with. Empty set here. Play clock under 5 seconds. LeSure is going to throw it. And Corey, that is an interception as of right now. Flag does come out from an official. That could be Harper, I believe.
You're going to have pass interference first.
And that possibly could be the call because the official threw that flag immediately after the interception.
But you're now going to have a personal foul afterwards as well. So that's something that you did not want to have at the end of that interception. And it just depends on who that far side official saw after the interception. There's your Hail Mary, and there was definitely pass interference on the play. So that will be one untimed down before this penalty happens at the end. So as we're looking at the run back after the interception by BC Rain, right at the end of the interception, we saw some additional penalty flags thrown. And I'm not sure if that was taunting, unsportsmanlike, what exactly happened, but we have that great camera look to see what happens afterwards. And the officials are going to have a lot to talk about here.
On the defense, 15-yard penalty, results in a first down. Personal foul on the defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
So that's 30 yards in penalties, Corey, the pass interference and then the personal foul.
But again, Al, right here with no time remaining, you have that one untimed down.
That's right.
But I'm not quite sure that after you mark this yardage off, you want to turn the football over one more time before the half. Yes, you want to try to score, but at what extent? Is it your fourth turnover of the half? Because when you go back and look at things, you know, turning the football over right before the half doesn't give your team the best advantage and momentum moving forward.
Ball on the 45-yard line. Jordan Vines came down with the interception that was called off due to the pass interference. That would have been his second interception of the night. Trip receivers at the bottom, so I think they're going to pretty much kind of go with the Hail Mary here, Corey. One untimed down we have. LeSure throws it.
Interception was dropped by Vines.
The pass interception was dropped by Jordan Vines. We just talked about it, Corey. So at the end of the first half, it is BC Rain on top of Leflore, 13-0. A very interesting first half, Corey, as both teams got into the red zone. BC Rain scored twice, got points off of turnovers, most importantly for their two scores. But Leflore got into the red zone, got a turnover.
Yeah, it's a situation where if you're Leflore, you should really only be down 1 score at this point
That's
in
right.
time because BC Rain, as you just mentioned, does have all their points off of turnovers, and Leflore has almost 4 turnovers on the half, officially going to be 3 in the first half alone. But if you are the Red Raiders, you want to talk about trying to find a way to finish drives, and the penalty yardage has been absurd
It really
for
has.
BC Rain. If you're Leflore, you want to have an opportunity to clean the turnovers up and give yourself a chance here in the second half.
Let's take it down to the sidelines and check in with Kimberly Dunn.
I'm here with Coach Yelding. Coach, how do you feel about your team's performance so far tonight?
Man, I think we're playing hard. We've got to get in here at halftime and make some adjustments on some things. One of the things that we talked about was, not having any penalties, and we came out right off the bat and had a couple false starts. So we just got to get in and settle them down, get back to playing what we know we can do, running the football, throwing it, making a few plays outside, and just finish this game. We got to finish this game.
So what does your team need to continue to do in order to secure the win tonight?
I mean, we got to figure out a way to continue to keep number 7 bottled up. 7 is a great football player. He makes plays. They use him in all kind of ways, getting in different places. We've been doing a decent job of bottling him up, but he started getting loose there towards the end of that half. So we just got to go back in, get that focus back on doing what we need to do to keep him in check and make somebody else. Of course, they got a couple kids running the football, 3's running the ball hard. So we just got to make tackles, do things that we have been coached to do, and I think we'll be fine.
Thank you, Coach.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Kimberly. All right, Corey, we're going to go to halftime and come back with the bands and also the Chick-Fil-A Halftime Trivia Challenge. BC Rain's on top by 13. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Bishop State.
It was just like an extension of home.
Bishop give you that outlet to give you a career, a successful career.
We're doing some great things at Bishop State. Keep an eye on us.
It is halftime, and it is time for the bands. Let's take it down to the field and check out the BC Rain High School Marching Band.
The band will now open with a fanfare that's the oldie but goodie by New Addiction entitled Please Stand Around. The band will now move down field drill to the flag. end of the road. Under the dance leadership of Deidre Smith and choreographer Mr. Maxwell Gray, we proudly introduce to you the classy, jazzy, and never trashy, our beautiful radio race out there. Dancing to the pop and hip hop style, Destiny Child, and trying to lose my breath. Percussionist instructor, Mr. DeVar James, let's give you something to go with. Stand to your feet and make some noise for the sound of your band. I said everybody stand to your feet and make some noise for the sound of your band. The band is just the next thing out there to make it give us more out there in front of this. Cheetah, Jessica, Trust, and all the things. Dance, Trust, and Cheetah, and before y'all can finish this nice little thing. Band of our Demetra Franklin, arranged and got to be arranged, Ian Johnson, and Alvin Day. Proudly yours, truly, this is the director band. Voice of the
Great job by the BC Rain Red Raiders, the sound of spirit in their halftime performance. Now it's time for the Chick-Fil-A Halftime Trivia Challenge. Let's see if Kimberly Dunn can get a winning performance for her spectator inside of the stands. Take it away, Kim. Having some technical difficulties right now with the audio from Kimberly. Let's see if we can try to connect with her once again. We're going to work on that audio. We'll take a break and come back and give you the Chick-fil-A Halftime Trivia Challenge. Plus, we'll listen to the Leflore Mighty Marshy Rattlers as well. We'll be right back with more of the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
When we say Bishop State Community College is a great place to start, we really mean it. Want to major in psychology, engineering, criminal justice, English, history, or something else? Take your general education courses with us, then transfer your credits to the four-year university of your choice. Want to learn a trade and go straight into the workforce? We have the programs and the training to help you land a high-wage and high-demand career. Save time and thousands while conveniently taking classes safely online or on campus. Register now, bishop.edu.
Let's try it once again. Let's take it down to the field for the Chick-fil-A Halftime Trivia Challenge. Kimberly, are you there?
We're here with our Chick-fil-A Halftime Trivia Challenge, and this is a hard question, but I A smart boy right here. Can you tell us your name and where you go to school?
I go to cricket, and my name is Kaitsun.
Woo! And you were telling me really special. What do you want to be?
A police.
A police officer. I can't wait to see you in a police. And you want to play football too? I'm so excited. What position did you say you want to play?
Quarterback.
Quarterback. That's awesome. All right, are you ready for the question? All right, it says, when this school was built in 1836, it became Alabama's first public school. Is it A, the Powell School, B, Barton Academy, C, Lincoln Normal School, or D, Moore Academy? Which one do you think it is?
B.
B, Barton Academy, are you sure? Yeah, you got it right. Good job. Look at that. There's your Chick-fil-A gift cards. And you get this pack too. Congratulations, buddy. I hope you have fun. Who are you going to share those gift cards with?
It's good.
It's good. Who are you going to share it with?
I can share it with my brother.
That is so sweet. We'll wave everybody and say bye.
Bye.
Great job right there on the Chick-fil-A halftime trivia challenge, Kim. Let's take it down to the field and listen to the mighty marching Rattlers of Leflore High School.
March as the amazing John L. Now get ready for the elusive, elegant, and slightly bougie John L. Force right there. They'll be performing to Pretty Young Thing as performed by Michael Jackson. All right, ladies, look at those right there. Now get up on your feet, fellas, as we perform When I Want To by Miles Yacht. All right, ladies, I see you. Look at those fellas.
Leflore Mighty Marching Rattler Band and also BC Rain tonight. We're going to take a break, come back with first half statistics. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
A teacher is one of the biggest investors in a community.
They impact the lives of those we value the most.
Teachers share knowledge which helps shape and mold our future leaders.
Teachers show direction and help build a sense of purpose.
Are you ready to make a change? For more information on teaching opportunities, teacher incentives, or to apply with the Mobile County Public Schools, log on to www.mcpss.com.
If you look at the numbers, Mobile County Public Schools is making great strides. With more than 53,000 students, 7,000 employees, and 90 schools, we are consistently increasing our four-year graduation rate and our first-class pre-K program. We continue to strive for national recognition and continue to prepare our students for the global workforce. And we do all of this with one goal in mind, to equip and empower college and career-ready graduates. Mobile County Public Schools. We're learning today, leading tomorrow.
We welcome you back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Rain on top of Leflore 13-0. Corey, Leflore is the home team tonight, and it is alumni night, and they just recognized the superintendent of the Mobile County Public School System, Mr. Cressel Threadgill. He's a Leflore graduate.
Absolutely, Al. As you were talking about, a Rattler myself, taking great pride in seeing the type of turnout that we have here tonight from the Tomaville Leflore, a Rattler alumni. And it's just a special opportunity to honor the superintendent who once walked the same halls that these students are currently in.
That's right. So we know we're glad to have him here. I'm a Leflore graduate, as you are as well. So great that they honored the superintendent tonight on alumni night. And Corey, we saw some, I'll say it, we saw some old heads in the band too as well tonight, man.
Absolutely. You have to love when you have an opportunity to come back and give back to your school that meant so much to you. And I commend the superintendent on the wonderful job he's doing so far.
All right, let's take a look at first half statistics in this ball game. It's definitely going to tell the story for us tonight, Corey.
45 rushing yards for the Leflore Rattlers, 59 passing yards, only 104 passing yards. But when you start looking at the turnovers, that is the biggest difference so far. 6 penalties for 70 yards. Coach Yeldon talked about it. We have to find a way to clean that up if you're a Red Raider here at halftime. And if you're able to do that and hold on, you'll get you an opportunity to go ahead and be undefeated in region play so far.
Yeah, you're right about that. Penalties for Red Raiders, 6 for 70 yards. We're going to take a break right quick, and we're going to come back and check in with Kimberly Dunn. She has Leflore coach Sean Burney with her.
Coach, what was the atmosphere like in the locker room?
Oh, my kids are upbeat. They're saying that we're going to find a way to win this ball game. So I expect us to come out with the same enthusiasm that we had the first half, just cut down on the mistakes that have been self-inflicted and win this ball game.
So what are some things your team needs to do in order to get this win?
Protect the ball, tackle a little bit better. Like I said, they're giving us what we thought they were going to give us. We're just right now just making too many mistakes. It's hurting us, putting us behind the ball. But our defense is playing great. Our offense was just making too many mistakes, and we'll get that corrected.
All right, well, good luck to you, Coach. I'll let you go to your team.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Kimberly. We appreciate that. Corey, going to put up the scoring summary right here, and we talked about it, points off turnovers for BC Rain. The first quarter, we had no scoring. BC Rain had a turnover. Dowling was stripped, and then Leflore had an interception by Justin Harper. BC Rain had an interception, and that led to our first score by Amari Yelding, 1-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, when you start looking at the scoreless first quarter, I mean, that's what made the first quarter of action go by so fast.
Right.
There was only maybe 3 penalties called, and those were early in the snap count or down and distance situations for BC Rain. And then the running started going very effectively for both teams, and then the second quarter was a little bit more drawn out with a few turnovers. But again, the difference here in the first half of action has been points off of turnovers.
It really has. BC Rain has capitalized, picked up a late interception from Jordan Vines as Leflore was in the red zone trying to score, and Vines got that interception, rolled it on out to about the 40-yard line, and BC Rain couldn't get any points out of that situation. So we're right here 13-0 with BC Rain on top. Right now, let's take a look at some of the region standings we have in the area. 4A Region 1. We talked about Viger at the top of the broadcast, Corey. Undefeated, region play, undefeated overall, kind of under the radar. But coming up in a couple weeks, you got a matchup between Viger and Williamson that's going to be huge for both teams.
And here's the biggest thing. The Vigers-Canby County football game has now been moved to 4 o'clock p.m. on Friday. So that's a little earlier than expected game time change for that game. But with that being said, you're absolutely right. Williamson is the defending region champion.
Sure.
Viger was able to go ahead and get some momentum going last year as Williamson dominated the first half. Viger dominated the second half.
Yeah.
And again, we mentioned how St. Michael and Phillip Rivers has been shocking everyone.
Sure has.
Off to this 4-1 start. Picked up their first ever region win in school history, and now you're looking at them 4-1 overall. But Mobile Christian still has a lot to say about that too. So it's going to be a great finish here at 4A Region 1.
Take it up to 5A. We get a chance to take a look at 5A Region 1. That's the region that we are in right now. UMS right undefeated. As you see, Rain undefeated in region play, overall 2-2, and Leflore right there sitting at 0-3. Now, here's the thing, Corey. BC Rain's about to go through the gauntlet. They have St. Paul's to play. They got UMS right to play and Faith Academy. Leflore only has Alberta and St. Paul's left in region play. So that's why we're saying this is a crucial ball game for both of these teams tonight.
Absolutely. You want to be in a situation to where you control your own destiny. UMS Wright and Faith Academy, I do believe, play each other tomorrow. So that will be a wonderful game. But Leflore, again, has an opportunity to control its own destiny, not only here in the second half, but for the remainder of their tough schedule.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for taking a look at region standings. We'll get on 6A Region 1 and 7A Region 1 later on here in the ball game, as we're about to have the kickoff here for the third quarter. A little short kick by the Rattlers trying to surprise BC Rain. That's a live ball, and it falls right into the hands of one of the Red Raiders. Leflore missed a great opportunity there to capitalize.
It was one of those situations that you really wanted to catch BC Rain napping, and it was a good call. The ball just bounced BC Rain's way. They found a way to pounce on it. Now the Red Raiders will take over right at their own 42-yard line.
Ricky Nichols brought that ball in for BC Rain. Leflore was almost about to get it as Nichols stepped in. So Rain with great field position at the 42, as you said, Corey. And the Leflore percussion section picks up where they left off in the second quarter.
That's going to be the alumni percussion section at that.
They probably haven't played like that in 20 years, Corey. Yeldon going to fake the give with the RPO. Keeps it himself for about 2 yards. 2nd and 8 coming up for the Red Raiders.
Deshaun Mosley comes from his middle linebacker position to make a stop for the Leflore Rattlers, and now you're looking at 2-yard gain on that play. 2nd down and 8 yards to go now for the Red Raiders.
Ball at the 42-yard line. We'll correct that ball at the 44. Ladd has not adjusted scoreboard yet. Fake the handoff to Dowling. Yeldon escapes out of the pocket and does get that pass completed to his receiver, Tristan Page. That's a first down, going to move the sticks.
Page, the 5'5", 125-pound sophomore, gets the reception from the rolling out Yeldon. He does a good job of putting that ball on the money where he needs to. Fresh set of downs for the Red Raiders, now in Rattler territory with that completion.
Ball on the 37-yard line of Leflore. Dowling in the backfield, going to provide some blocking. Yeldon rolls to his right. Pass incomplete, try to get it out to Lockett. Corey, I was just thinking as he rolled to his right, haven't seen him really roll to his right a lot tonight. He's been most are going to the weak side, to his left side.
And that's a situation to where I know he would like to have that one back because his wide receiver or his H-back was open in that situation.
Yeah.
We saw that same exact pass earlier on not be completed, but it's something that the Leflore defense is giving up to this Red Raider offense, and I guarantee they will connect on it, because if it's there, the offensive coordinator, Thamus Davis, will see it, and he'll continue to go back to that well, because he has a lot of confidence in his young quarterback, Yeldon.
BC Rain averages 18.5 points on offense and giving up 22 points on defense, and tonight they're pitching a shutout on the Rattlers. Toss out to Dowling. He picks up a couple. It'll be 3rd down and 8. Coach Yeldon told me they play multiple formations. They'll do some pro action. They'll do some pro style, some I formation as well. And as we saw Yeldon go under the center right there, something we rarely see in high school football, Corey.
Zion Stallworth, the 5'6", 128-pound freshman, on the stop for the Leflore Rattlers from his cornerback position. But now that brings up 3rd down and 8 yards to go for the Red Raiders. A big 3rd down stop needed here for Leflore to try to stop any momentum that Rain comes out with here in the second half.
Ball on the 35-yard line. Yeldon rolls once again to his left. Short hops it to his receiver. Incomplete. It's going to take BC Rain to 4th down. Decision time here for Coach Lawrence Yeldon and his Red Raider coaching staff.
Well, if you want to flip the field and make Leflore march long distance, you go ahead and you pump this football away to pin them deep in their own territory. If you want to go ahead and take your shot with your wide receivers running their routes past the sticks, you can go ahead and take that gamble also, because when you look at where the ball is spotted right at the Rattler 35-yard line, you want to try to keep this Rattler defense, if you decide to go for it, on the field as long as possible.
Play clock at 17 seconds. BC Rain lining up to go for it. Yeldon rolling to his right. Kind of slips as he tried to plant, but it was enough. That pass completed to Shane Lockett near the 22-yard line. They pick up the 1st down on 4th down.
What do? Is you roll the pocket on 4th down. Give your quarterback an opportunity not to run for the 1st down, but let the wide receivers run their routes past the sticks. And that's exactly what Lockett was able to do. Sat down, was able to make sure he caught the football. Wasn't worried about yards after catch. He just wanted to secure it. Was able to pick up a critical 4th down, 1st down for the Red Raiders.
Ball at the 21-yard line, knocking on the red zone once again. That's something BC Rain has done consistently tonight. They go to their money man, Bryce Dowling. Corey, I think he's going to scamper in. 21-yard touchdown for Bryce Dowling.
Open up the second half of action with recovering the onside kick and then driving down the field. Leflore could not get off the field on 4th down, something was going to be critical for them to do. But, again, you're not going to be able to tackle this explosive running back high, as Dowling, I think, may possibly have his 2nd rushing touchdown.
That's his 2nd rushing touchdown tonight. You're right, Corey. And I believe his 8th of the season rushing touchdown. Joel Hernandez on for the PAT. Tristan Page is holding. Off the upright, it is no good. BC Rain on top, 19-0. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
Our children with special needs deserve a place to play. That is why we are coming together to build the Miracle League of West Mobile Schmidt Family Park. It will include a special needs ball field and playground, regulation baseball and softball fields, and more. We have raised more than $1 million and construction will start soon. But we need your help to complete the project. Visit mcpss.com/Miracle League to donate and to learn more. Any dollar amount will help bring a smile to a child's face. Together, we can make a miracle. Community partners. Thank you, Mobile County Health Department, Mobile Infirmary, and USA Health for partnering with MCPSS to vaccinate our employees and the community against COVID-19.
For our executive producer, Quentin Howard, director Wade Ford, I'm Al Whedon with Corley Bounty on the sidelines. We have Kimberly Dunn. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. as that kickoff return by Savion Perriman. Going to have him at about the 30-yard line, Corey. 1st and 10 coming up for the Rattlers.
Well, you know right now the Red Raider defense is going to be keying on where Demir Smith is. And if you're Leflore right now trailing 19-0, you don't want to get caught looking at the scoreboard because, again, no deficit is too large for you to overcome. Now, what you do have to do is you have to find a way to get the ball into 11 and 7's hands, as well as Joel Scott, a great wide receiver for, Josh Scott, a great wide receiver for the Leflore Rattlers. Now, 1st and 10 here, you don't want to turn the football over. I think that's what's very important for Leflore also. And you still have time to run the football and make BC Rain be honest in the box.
Toss it to Demir Smith on a slight jet sweep. He gets past the 30-yard line to pick up a couple. Great drive put together by the Red Raiders. They came out of the locker room, and it sounds like Coach Yielding and his team made the adjustments as they drove that ball down the field to pick up another score. Hopefully we can get that scoring drive summary up there to let you know. It was a great drive. Probably used maybe 2-3 minutes off the clock, Corey.
Absolutely. That they were able to punch it in, though, is impressive coming out of the locker room. They were able to take advantage of the onside kick, get points on the board, which is valuable in this type of contest. Now Leflore taking his time at the line of scrimmage. Here looking down at 2nd down and close to 7 yards to go.
Ball on the 32-yard line. Going to credit Smith with 3 yards on the carry. LeSure takes his time, connects with Demir Smith on that slant. He's in the Red Raider territory, down to about the 33, 32-yard line.
DeMarjo Sewell on the stop, but look at Demir Smith. You know where the football's going. Coach Yeldon talked about it, but whenever you get him in space, that's one of the things I talked about in my checklist.
Right.
BC Rain has to find a way to create a drought in space, and how are you able to do that? By go ahead and doubling him up.
There's that BC Rain scoring drive summary, Corey. 2nd touchdown of the night for Bryce Dowling. Used 2:33 off the clock, 7 plays, 58 yards. Great drive by BC Rain. Looks like Leflore is ready to answer with the ball at the BC Rain 32-yard line.
Now, if I'm Demir Smith and I see single coverage and no help over the top, which now they're cheating over to have help over the top, you want to get 11 involved right here also.
You called it, Corey, on the screen, and boy, he is wrapped up immediately by Justin Harper on the tackle. So they're going to take a slight loss on that 1st down, probably bring up 1st and 14.
Now what you want to start doing is you've already thrown the ball to 7. Now you've thrown it to 11. Now you find a way to get Scott the football in the slot. If you're going to run 2 wide receivers to either side of the football field, again, you want to make sure that you come back to the football and meet the football and allow your quarterback to drive the football with that side-on throwing motion to make sure that a defender does not step in between you and the football and take it for a pick 6.
Second and about 14 coming up here for the Rattlers. Smith on the near side here. LeSure looking his way. And he decides to just eat that one and go down, Corey. Great coverage by the Red Raiders. He couldn't find anyone open.
That's a very smart sliding play, not to force anything.
Right.
Ashton Wright, the 6'2", 280-pound defensive lineman, he's a sophomore also with the stop for the Red Raiders. But you don't want to force it. Again, don't want to turn the football over, especially when you're in Red Raider territory. 6 minutes remaining here in the 3rd quarter of action in this critical region matchup.
They're going to place that ball on the 39-yard line. Sorry, 41-yard line is where they're going to spot it. 3rd and long here for the Rattlers. They just toss it out. Incomplete. He tried to swing it out to Perriman. Yeah, Corey, I was just thinking about this, but we decided to run a play. But coming up, we will have the Brain Buster of the Week. 5:46, we may be able to get the question up after this play here, whatever Leflore decides to do. We typically reveal the answer between 3rd and 4th quarter. This 3rd quarter going pretty quick. Red Raiders used 2 minutes and 33 seconds to pick up their touchdown out of the halftime, and right now we're at 5:46.
Now you're looking at 4th down and 19 yards to go after that sack by Leflore. So an interception at this point in time getting the ball down to the 20 or 15-yard line, you also are able to quick kick it. But here I'm going and finding 7 or 11 if I'm the Rattlers.
You got to, Corey. And they are trying to find him across the middle, incomplete. It'll be ball over on downs, and with the switching possessions, we'll take a look at our brain buster of the week, a game of the week. All right, Corey, this 3-time Pro Bowler and center for the Arizona Cardinals was a two-way player while at BC Rain. What is his name, Corey?
Can I give you a +1 maybe on this question, too? Can I give you
you mean when you give the answer?
Absolutely.
Well, when you give the answer, if you know the answer, Corey, we'll be more than glad to oblige your +1. We are in the South. Right. We have manners. So.
All right.
Because actually, I don't have a +1 prepared for you tonight, but if you have one for me,
I do.
Brother, we can take your EQTs tonight. You know what I'm saying? Teacher workday coming up on the 11th.
I got to pass this one for sure.
Right. Mark your calendar. 1st and 10, ball on the 39 for BC Rain. Yeldon rolls out, gets it to Lockett. Nice pickup by Lockett, about 8 or 9 yards on that play.
Play action of rolling the pocket. We mentioned that last scoring drive by the Red Raiders only took less than 3 minutes of action. But when you start talking about being late here in the third quarter with 5:20 remaining here in the third quarter of action, what you start to do is you start to try to keep this Leflore defense on the field for as long as possible. How do you do that? You extend drives by continuing to get first downs, keeping this Leflore defense on the field for the rest of the third quarter.
You're right about that, Corey, because we are at 4:53 here in the third quarter. 2nd and short for the Red Raiders. I think you know where this one's going.
That's going to be on BC Rain.
Well, that's the false start.
Leflore flinched but never crossed and made contact or encroachment, and the offensive lineman just had to stay in his stance and did not.
That will push the Red Raiders back to about the 45-yard line. So now we're looking at 2nd and 6 coming up for BC Rain. And Corey, I got to adjust my volume once again in my headset. The alumni percussion section is feeling the spirit tonight, if you catch my drift, on alumni night for Leflore. They go to Dowling. Look at him go up the middle, north and south, Corey. First down as he is in Rattlers territory.
And that's what you want to do. I mean, if you're the Red Raiders, you want to go ahead and make Leflore stop you. And you just keep pounding and pounding and pounding until you're able to bust a big one like Dowling did on his touchdown run. He makes sure he secures that football, but you're not going to be able to tackle him with any ease. More, the impact player for Leflore was able to get him down to the ground, but not before picking up another Red Raider first down here in the third quarter.
Ball on the 44-yard line of the floor. Right at 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter, with BC Rain in control, 19-0 over the Rattlers. Back to Dowling they go. Nice little block from Lockett right there on the edge, but a flag comes in near the BC Rain sideline.
That's going to be a holding against the wide receiver on the far sidelines. And as soon as that penalty flag was dropped, the young man knew that he was caught with his hand in the cookie jar, per se. And it'll cost the Red Raider yardage. But even though they'll have an opportunity here, after the yardage is tacked off, it's going to be a spot foul from where the holding occurred. And it looks like it's going to be first down and close to 16 yards to go maybe for the Red Raiders, right at midfield.
Back to the previous spot, Corey, if you think about that previous play that Dowling picked up the first down for him. So they're right at the midfield stripe at the 50, 1st and 15. As Yeldon looks to the sideline to get the call from offensive coordinator.
Timeout.
Thamus Davis, but it is a timeout. BC Rain has called a timeout, 3:16 here remaining in the third quarter. Al Whedon, Corey LeBounty. On the sidelines, we have Kimberly Dunn, and you're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Let's take time to thank our folks at Firehouse Subs, especially Jim and Susie Sherman at the Greenlight Road location, always taking care of us with the eats. So make sure you enjoy more subs, save more lives, because a portion of your subs purchase will go to the Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation. Also got to thank BSN Sports, where you can get team apparel and equipment from baseball to wrestling and all sports in between. BSN Sports, the heart of the game, online at bsnsports.com. And lastly, Bishop State, our title sponsor, with 4 city campuses offering students a quality and affordable education. Visit bishop.edu to learn more. Bishop State, a great place to start. And don't forget to mark your calendar, Corey. We just talked about it. Teacher Workday coming up October 11th. All schools will be closed. Kids will be at home. Teachers report to work. Teachers Workday. And China Powell and Matt Moore kind of look at me cross-eyed here, Corey. Our statisticians, they work for the system. They're like, why do you repeatedly keep saying October 11th? I have a producer in my ear giving me instructions to share with the crowd and the viewers what's going on. But they're looking at me side-eyed like, that's enough of that, Al. That's enough of it.
12 men on the field for Leflore.
Wow.
Coming out of the timeout.
So that's going to give BC Rain a free 5 yards right there. It's either going to be 1st and 11 or 1st and 10, depending where they place the ball in the down marker. I'm going to say 1st and 11 here, Corey. Ball at the 45-yard line. Got to give you props and shout-outs to you and your folks over there at BSN Sports. I saw the crew T-shirts. Looking nice, man. Looking real nice.
Absolutely, and thanks BSN for all their support here of the MCPSS television broadcast.
Yelding rolls out of trouble and connects. That pass completed to Tristan Page, but he was leveled, Corey, by the Leflore defender.
Planted by Iverson Matthews, the defensive back who's a senior. Yelding gets out of trouble, flicks of the wrist, finds his wide receiver, but that's a great open field tackle. That's how you go ahead and make sure there's no more yards after catch, but that does allow the clock to continue to run and a fresh set of downs for the Red Raiders.
Ball on the 30-yard line. After that 12 men on the field penalty, that's a 15-yard gain. 20-yard gain by the Red Raiders. Look at Dowling just roll out of trouble, Corey, trying to get to the end zone for his 3rd score of the night. He's pushed out of bounds at about the 9. I wonder if that's going to be a face mask. 2 late flags came in.
You know, I do believe it is going to be a face mask, but you try to tackle this young man high. You cannot do it. You have to take his legs out from under him. He gets stronger as the game goes on, and I'm not – let's see how it's going to go when he had the face mask.
Yep.
The defender did grab the bird cage, so to speak. So with that being called against the Rattlers.
Face mask on the defense.
And I don't think it was intentional, Corey. I think he was just really trying to make the tackle just how the bodies were going. He just caught that face mask, so you're going to get flagged either way.
Well, I tell you this. I mean, it's a lose-lose situation because if you try to tackle him high, he's going to stiff arm you and run you over. You try to tackle him low, he's going to run you over. So Dowling just trying to go ahead and get possibly his 3rd rushing touchdown of the contest.
Ball on the 5-yard line. That pass is complete. That is a touchdown on the slant route to Antonio Williams. 5-yard touchdown pass by Amari Yelding.
Just a wonderful play call in the red zone area, catching Williams right in the slot. You play action, you suck the defense up, and he catches him in stride from 5 yards out, and that's a very nicely executed play.
Really is.
Right at the 5-yard line, and now BC Rain goes up 25-0 over the Leflore Rattlers with 2:18 remaining in the 4th quarter with the point after pending. But it all boils down to converting on 4th down and keeping the Rattlers on the field and finding a way to extend the drive. The 2-point conversion is going to be run right now by BC Rain, and it's going to be incomplete. So
looks like they were trying to get it to Amari Yelding, as a matter of fact. So 25-0. That's Yelding's 2nd touchdown of the night. He ran one, and now he's thrown for one. So, Corey, we got a little break. Let's go ahead and put up the answer to our Game of the Week Brain Buster. Sounds like you may have an inkling of an idea. We get the question up here as we're about to change over possessions on the kickoff. All right, Corey, this 3-time Pro Bowler and center for the Arizona Cardinals was a 2-way player while at BC Rain. What is his name, Corey?
Well, I'm going to go with Rodney Hudson.
Okay, Rodney Hudson. Let's get Miss Diane and Wade to hit the button. And Rodney Hudson, Corey, BC Rain class of 2007. So good answer. You may have a +1 for me tonight, Corey. Is that correct?
All right. What else did Rodney Hudson do in regards to his extracurricular activities as well while he was in high school? What other extracurricular activity was he involved in?
I'm just going to say basketball, Corey.
How about the band?
Oh, was it tuba, Corey?
It was the tuba.
I actually knew that when he talked about it when he came back a couple years for the Senior Bowl. But yeah, he played tuba in the band too as well. So that's really doing all your extracurriculars right there, Corey.
And you know, it's one of those things to where you show your versatility and the high IQ that Rodney Hudson does have. Because I was surprised when the Raiders went ahead and released him, but he fell into a beautiful spot with the Arizona Cardinals. And because of all his hard work, he gives a lot back to BC Rain.
Sure does.
And he's one of those guys to where when he went on and played his collegiate football at UAB, if I'm not mistaken,
that's right, UAB
you had
Blazer.
an opportunity here now in the NFL to be one of the highest paid linemen offensively in the NFL.
That's right. At one point, I know he had signed the largest contract for a center ever when he was with the Raiders. But I'm surprised they did let him go. But he's going to make sure he get his reps in with that young man at quarterback for Arizona.
Absolutely.
You're going to be running up and down the field.
Kyler
Speaking
Murray.
of running, great job by Severio Singleton on that return. They're going to give it to Demir Smith out of the backfield. Leflore trying to get some instant offense here. Down 25 points with 1:53 remaining in the third quarter. They need to get points on the board immediately.
Well, you just put it into one of your playmakers' hands, and that playmaker, the most explosive playmaker, is going to be Demir Smith. You give him as many touches as he can, and when he's not touching the ball, he's definitely a great decoy for the Leflore Rattlers to have. But you're looking at the quarterback in this situation. Excuse me, Rodney Hudson did go to Florida State, not UAB.
Yeah, you're right about that. Florida State, not UAB. Hand off to Perriman. Tries to make a turn on the edge. Gets it back to the line of scrimmage. Corey, it's all forgiven at this point. Florida State needs some positivity.
They do,
So,
they do. He's probably one of the most positive things that have happened for the Seminoles. Even mentioning the Florida State Seminoles in our broadcast is a bonus for Tallahassee.
3rd and 3 coming up for the Rattlers on the move at the 35-yard line. As Corey likes to call it, they're trying to get the goose egg off the board if they can. Looking to get a spark as best they can. They catch Demir Smith leaking out. Incomplete. You could kind of see that one being set up, Corey. Just couldn't complete the pass.
Well, you're trying to get your playmaker to football, and that's exactly what you have to do. Find a way for him to be in some type of motion. Find a way for him to be a decoy. Find a way to get the defense keying on him to where you're able to hit one of your other wide receivers, whether that is 11 or whether that is Scott, Fleming, it doesn't matter. You just want to make sure that you are completing passes for Leflore here as we're about to wrap up the third quarter of action.
Triple stack to the bottom. LeSure uncorks it, throws it high, incomplete as he tried to get it to Demir Smith. So it'll be ball over on downs with 15 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Leflore made the attempt there, Corey. Tried to get creative and could not pick that first down up. BC Rain's going to get the ball here at their own 35-yard line.
Yeah, it was a desperation situation for the Leflore Rattlers, but BC Rain did a good job staying home, and the route was run past the needed first down yardage, just knocking it down on 4th down instead of intercepted it. And because of it, that's what you call a nice high football IQ, because you get better field possession by knocking it down versus taking the interception.
They're going to place it at the 34-yard line. 15 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Jet sweep for the Red Raiders. Quinney with the run past the midfield stripe. Nice game right there by Carl Quinney. That's going to take the clock down to the end of the fourth quarter. End of the third quarter, Corey.
But what you're trying to do is Leflore, you want to tackle low, not high here in the fourth quarter, because I know you've been on the field for at least half of the third quarter of action here at Lab People Stadium.
All right, we're going to come back, give you one more quarter of action. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Bishop State. Rain on top.
It was just like an extension of home.
Bishop give you that outlet to give you a career, a successful career.
We're doing some great things at Bishop State. Keep an eye on us.
We welcome you back to legendary Lab People Stadium for a 5A Region 1 matchup. BC Rain on top of Leflore right now, 25-0 as we start the fourth quarter with BC Rain in Leflore territory. Ball at the 43-yard line. Second down and 10 coming up here for the Red Raiders.
Well, the Red Raiders will be content not to turn the football over and find a way to ground out this next 11 minutes, but again, Leflore's defense, hand on hips, have been on the field for much longer than defensive coordinator Anthony Anderson would like. But there's no quit in this Leflore Rattler defense. They just have to find a way to break down and make those tackles in space and not tackle high, which you have a tendency to do when you get a little tired.
Dowling takes the handoff. Following behind is blocking by Shane Lockett and others as he pushes into the second level up to about the 30-31-yard line of the Rattlers. Bryce Dowling, Corey, you talked about it. Looks like a little bowling ball right there, keeping those legs moving the whole time.
That's exactly what you want, again, if you're this Red Raider offense. Just continue to pound away at Leflore. And Dowling, I mentioned it earlier, he finds a way to get stronger as the game goes on. And I saw that firsthand 2 weeks ago against Alberta, as he, deep into the overtime, just found a way to continue to grind out yards for this Red Raider program.
First and 10, ball on the 30-yard line for BC Rain. Statistician China Powell letting me cheat over her shoulder, Cora. Looks like BC Rain has ran the ball for 159 yards so far into the third quarter as Dowling laid the lick on the Leflore defender. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you,
wow.
Al, look at him get stronger. He absolutely trucks the Leflore defender on the far sidelines, and it's going to be a great shot. Dowling bouncing it to the outside, and he lowers his shoulder right here after the point of contact. Boom, right there, and he stays upright. But the Leflore defender finds nothing but turf here at Lab People Stadium.
That looked like a Derrick Henry move there, Corey.
And this young man, again, is close to 200 pounds. He's a sophomore, folks. He only gets stronger as the game goes along.
Pass over the top from Yielding. That pass almost intercepted by Leflore. He got rocked on that play, as a matter of fact.
Throwing that football off of his back foot in that situation, and I know that Yielding wants to make sure he doesn't turn the football over as he's doing so.
2nd and 5 coming up here for the Red Raiders, knocking on the red zone once again. Ball on the 25-yard line. See what offensive coordinator Thamus Davis is going to come up with here for the Red Raiders. Lockett in the backfield. They give it to Lockett. He's trying to push. Demir Smith comes over from offense and gets him a tackle, Corey. And a late flag comes in. Take a look at the stats through the third quarter here while we have a break. Total yards for BC Rain, 274. Very balanced attack for the Red Raiders, but those penalty yards, 8 for 81. Not looking very well tonight at all, Corey.
Well, you're in a situation to where if you're the Leflore Rattlers, you have to stay disciplined, and if you're not, you're going to cost yourself additional yardage, which is exactly what happens on that personal foul.
We're able to try to get your checklist back up. We will, Corey. And that flag's going to go against the Rattlers and will push BC Rain closer to the end zone.
After the play, personal foul on the defense. After distance to the goal, first down.
After distance, so that's going to place the ball, I believe, at the 12-yard line. Here's the BC Rain checklist, Corey.
Win 2 out of 3 phases of the game so far, offensively and defensively, have favored the Red Raiders, bringing the rainstorm in space. We've seen them tackle well in space and have balance on offense. We just saw those third-quarter statistics so far of the balance rushing and passing for the Red Raiders.
Jet sweep as they hand it off to Carl Quinney. That's a fumble. Lockett falls right on top of it to save Quinney. Another turnover averted by the Red Raiders.
And if you're Leflore, what you wanted to do was cause a rain drought. So far, your drought has been on the scoreboard. You want to finish tackles. They're tackling high and not low, and that's almost impossible to do against Dowling as you see Rain pounce on their own fumble. And Leflore needed to strike fast. They had a couple of drives that got into the red zone area, and they threw an interception at the 1-yard line, but we're going to have an injured Red Raider on the play out.
Looks like Marion Davis, running back in on that play, is down, writhing in pain. As Coach Yelding and the trainers come out to take a look at him. Let's take it down to the sidelines, check in with Kimberly Dunn.
We talked about it before the game, but now is when the coaches are going to really start missing those heat timeouts. And like we're seeing later in this game, we're starting to get a few more injuries, whether it's just from exhaustion or being tired. The players are really starting to feel not having those extra breaks in this game. And even though it's cooler temperatures, we still have that high humidity, which has a great impact on these players.
Thank you, Kimberly. We do appreciate that. They're taking a look right there at Davis down on the field. Corey, you talked about it with your checklist. BC Rain making those adjustments at halftime. They've scored twice here in the second half, both times in the third quarter, continuing to add pressure onto the Leflore Rattlers. While we have a break, take a look at the 6A Region 1 standings. Get those up right there. Spanish Fort, they're the #1 team in the state in 6A, in full control. And right now, it's some jostling going on, Corey, between now and the end of the season. You're going to see as teams win, teams lose, who's going to kind of separate themselves. Right there at the bottom, you're looking at Blunt and Citronelle. We've had Citronelle on twice this season, had Blunt on twice this season. Both of them are 1-1 appearing on the broadcast. But right there in the middle, look at the log jam, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. Also blended at 1-2 bunch as well.
Well, we always call 6A Region 1 the SEC West.
Yes, sir.
Of high school football. And there's probably not a better region in the entire state of Alabama, 1A through 7A, because you look at Spanish Fort making it to the state championship game the last couple of years.
Sure has.
And before that, you had Saraland making an appearance, and McGill-Tulin not too long ago was a state champion in 7A, dropping down to 6A. So it does not get any easier in this 6A Region 1.
Had a chance to do the presentations for the Crichton Optimist Club Player of the Week luncheon yesterday, Corey, and McGill-Tulin had 2 players receive awards for the Crichton Optimist Club. 2nd and 7, BC Rain can pick up a first down without a touchdown. But why, Corey, when you can throw it to Carl Quinney for 8 yards and just put 6 on the board?
Quinney's going to get an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty called on him, but not before the 5'11", 165-pound senior scores his first receiving touchdown of the season, adding 6 more on the board for the Red Raiders. And Yelding just going to drop back, throw a nice little 2-step fade into the back of the end zone, and catching it in the only place possible was Quinney doing a little celebration dance that he probably could have done over there on the sidelines, but nonetheless, he does score 6 points for the Red Raiders.
That is, I'm sorry, not Quinney. That is Yelding's 3rd touchdown of the night, Corey. 2 in the air and 1 on the ground.
Right.
So for a second, you had Dowling making a case for our Career Tech Education Player of the Game, but Amari Yelding putting a little pressure on Dowling to get his name into the mix as the extra point is good. BC Rain extends their lead to 31-0 over Leflore. Let's take a look at the 7A Region 1 standings. Right there, 9-team region, so you still got a lot of teams in this. Things have yet to be decided, but sitting in region play, you got Baker 3-1, Fairhope and Theodore undefeated. They're going to be meeting next week, Corey, so that's going to be a battle for first place next week in 7A Region 1.
Yeah, I mean, Theodore won the region 1 year ago, and they're trying to defend that region crown.
Right.
Is the name of their game is to go ahead and take one bite of the elephant at a time. Eric Collier has his team prepared for what's at hand, not looking ahead. And Fairhope does a wonderful job. Tim Carter and Steve Norman has his Baker Hornet stinging at the right time.
Sure does.
4-1 overall, off to one of their best starts in school history.
Now, Baker has not played Fairhope, has not played Daphne yet. So those are going to be two critical ball games coming up in the second half of the season. So 7A Region 1. Hopefully, after this kickoff, we can start getting to some of the state polls, part of the Alabama Sports Writers Association top 10s of the week. BC Rain on top 32-0 over Leflore. So that penalty is going to push him back to the 25. I wonder if Deloche is going to do a pooch here, or he's going to really put his foot into it.
Kick it as hard as you can.
And he puts his foot into it. One of the up men for Leflore is going to take that to Matra right on the move, Corey, and he's going to be taking it to the house.
And he does it with one shoe. You look at his feet, he has no shoe. He lost his shoe probably
So
about the 35-yard line, and that's what you call putting your foot in it, Al, as he was able to go ahead and take that kickoff to the house. He fields it right at the 30-yard line, so that's going to be a 70-yard return. You look here as he cuts it up, he cuts back at the 50, and there goes the shoe.
There goes the shoe.
And he scores without those shiny shoes that he has. He almost gives up too early. But does score 6 points and avoids the shutout for the Leflore Rattlers. Let's see if there's a flag on the play. It's right at the 28-yard line.
I was trying to tell you, Corey, there are two flags on the play. There were some extracurriculars going on before he got into the end zone. So I don't know if that's going to wipe the score off the board. Personal foul against Leflore. That may take the score off the board, Corey. And they are marching it backwards, as a matter of fact.
Run, personal foul. 15-yard penalty, first down.
It's going to be for the spot.
So unfortunately, the 6 points come off the board for Tamatra Wright.
Well, if you're Leflore, you had an opportunity there for positive yardage and give your alumni band as well as your student band an opportunity to play that fight song. And now, if you're Leflore, you want to try to get life here with 7:40 remaining in the fourth quarter of action, trailing 32-0.
Through 4 quarters, Amari Yelding is 13 for 20, 177 yards passing, 2 through the air, 1 on the ground, and Bryce Dowling, 111 yards on 15 carries. That pass almost intercepted by BC Rain. Wow, that would have been a great snag by DeMargio Sewell, Corey.
Sewell, the 5'11", 180-pound senior, wanted to go ahead and try to tip it to one of his teammates because he was falling backwards to keep the ball alive.
Right.
But that side-on throw by LeSure, he tried to tip it but couldn't get the weight and the momentum of him take him backwards. He couldn't tip it to his teammate, which would have been a play of the day
It really
type
would have.
interception.
All right, it is 2nd down and 10 coming up from Leflore. Ball on their 39-yard line. Trip receivers here to the near side for Leflore. They dish it off right quick. Little quick out pass to the receiver. Couldn't get a number on him. Take a look at the state polls, 4A polls. The top 4 are the same from last week in Class 4A, with the Vigo Wolves sitting solid at 3 coming off a bye last week. Williamson moved up from 1 spot to 5, with St. Michael on the outside looking in with 2 votes. So it's 3rd down and 4 coming up here for the Rattlers.
That completion to Lamar Horn.
Lamar Horn. Horn coming over from defense to play some offense tonight. Blitz on for LeSure. He gets out of trouble, Corey, and gets it completed to Demir Smith. Josh Scott throws a block for him. That's enough for the first down, and the chains are going to move for the Rattlers. Here's the 5A poll. Pike Road still on top this week's poll. Central, Clay County, and Russellville both lost last week and fall a few spots, allowing UMS Wright to move up 1 spot to 7, and Faith Academy goes up 1 spot to 10. St. Paul's sitting outside the top 10, picking up just 5 votes, Corey. I had them in my 5 mid-season surprises. The St. Paul Saints. Where are they at, Corey?
They're on their way up, if you ask me. They have some critical region games left, but never underestimate Steve Mass because his state titles speak for themselves.
That's right. 1st and 10, ball on the 28-yard line. LeSure has plenty of time, and he throws it right to the BC Rain Red Raider defender. I think that's Mike Jones. No, that's Ricky Nichols, Corey. Nichols trying to take it 6 to the house. A pick 6. Corey, let me scan the field. I don't see any flags on the play.
That is a touchdown. A house call for the Red Raiders. And you look at linebacker Ricky Nichols, the 5'11", 212-pound freshman who is an impact player.
That's right.
At the beginning of our telecast, now you see why this young man just added 6 to his resume as a 5'11", 212-pound freshman. And to our left, one of our statisticians, Matt Moore, had an opportunity to coach this young man in middle school, if I'm not mistaken, as
over
Coach Moore is in the feeder program for the BC Rain Red Raiders. And I was talking to him at halftime. He said he has a couple of his former players suited and booted for the Red Raiders at that. But that is a house call that the middle linebacker Ricky Nichols makes as a freshman.
And also congratulations to Coach Moore and his Palmer Pillins team. They picked up a middle school win today over Denton, Corey.
Thursday afternoon
That's
middle
right.
school football, followed by Friday night football. It's been a long day for our statistician.
I'm going to have to talk to the principal at Pillins and make sure that he checks the attendance tomorrow to make sure Mr. Moore shows up for work tomorrow, Corey.
It's been a long day.
It's been a long day for our buddy Matt Moore. Kick is up, and it is good as BC Rain extends their lead over Leflore, 39-0. Got to thank our folks over there at Bishop State for all the fine work that they are doing. We want to thank them for supporting MCPSS football. Also, don't forget they're having a COVID testing and vaccination drive coming up October 7th, this Thursday, a week from today, from 9:30 to noon at the Franklin Primary Health Center. So make sure you check that out. Let's take a look at that 7A poll, the last one in the state for the Alabama Sports Writers Association. And Corey, this is the easiest one of the 4. There are no changes from last week's poll. Theodore sits at 5, Fairhope sits at 8, and Baker outside picking up 6 votes.
Not surprised at 1 and 2, and I can't wait for 1 and 2 to play
That's
each other.
That's going to be huge.
The last game of the regular season there. But again, our local representation here in the Mobile County Public School System has been the Bobcats at Theodore. And again, that Theodore Fairhope matchup will be fun to watch with Baker having to play both Fairhope.
Yeah, they have not played Fairhope nor Daphne yet. So those are going to be 2 critical games in 7A Region 1 on the back end. And Theodore will meet Fairhope next Friday night, Corey, as a matter of fact.
Yeah,
they're hosting Fairhope.
And BC Rain's going to get called for excessive celebration. That's why they're kicking off here from the 25-yard line, their own 25-yard line, after that touchdown pick 6 house call by the freshman linebacker. A little bit too excited with the Red Raiders, but it's okay when you're leading 39-0. It'll be one of those things that'll be talked about, but that's one of the penalties I don't think Coach minds having.
Little short kick. LaFleur's going to field it right at the 50-yard line. Coming up next week, we're doing it tonight on Thursday, and I think we're going to be doing it again next Thursday, as a matter of fact, as Murphy's traveling down to the I. Murphy versus Bryant. So once again, we'll be the only game in town Thursday night, October 7th, as we take it down to South Mobile County, Irvington. You're looking at Murphy versus Bryant, two teams in 7A Region 1, both of them trying to get their act together so far this season, Corey. As I talked about Murphy in my 5 mid-season surprises. Oh, Murphy, where are my Panthers at, Corey? Ball on the 48-yard line of Leflore. 5:01 remaining here in the contest. And looking like two good candidates for the Career Tech Education Player of the Game. Amari Yeldon, quarterback for the Red Raiders, and also their running back, Bryce Dowdland, has 2 touchdowns, and Yeldon has 3, 2 through the air and 1 on the ground, as a matter of fact. High snap to LeSure. He's got to get on it. That's a turnover. And pouncing on that ball for BC Rain, Tyrone Deloche. If I'm correct, Corey, I checked my sheet here. That would be the 5th turnover of the night for Leflore.
More than the Rattlers would like, because again, it's 13-0 at halftime.
Yes.
Where
yes, it was 13-0. Both scores happened in the second quarter.
Turnovers came for the Red Raiders off of Leflore having turnovers. But now here in the second half, Leflore hasn't found a way to go ahead and keep the ball off of the turf. And because of it, another turnover added to that column for the Rattlers. Just be something for them to look at on film and correct as they're moving forward. Next week, the Leflore Rattlers are at Alberta.
I think we have a timeout here from BC Rain and Coach Lawrence Yelding. So if we have a chance, we can get on the Career Tech Education Player of the Game, because BC Rain is coming back out on the field, and see who we will have revealed for our Career Tech Education Player. Both players making a good case tonight, Yelding and Dowland. With Dowland rushing over for 100 yards and Yelding throwing for more than 150 with 3 touchdowns, 2 on the ground and 2 in the air and 1 on the ground, Corey.
You know, Al, when I start thinking about it, I really do think that it's going to be Cope. I think both of them have done equally a yeoman's job in this situation, to where Yeldon has learned and grown as this game's gone along, made the good throws, and Dowland continues to run hard the entire contest and get stronger, but both of them are very deserving.
I could see that as well, Corey. I could see that. It won't be the first time we've dished out Career Tech Education players, but both make a strong case. Dowling ran consistently. High snap to Yelding. Shane Lockett trying to get on it, cannot. So that's going to be a turnover right there. Corey, I think we may have jinxed him. Second turnover tonight for the Red Raiders. So let's take a look at who our Career Tech Education Player of the ball game is going to be. Going to have one, or if we're going to have 2. As the forward take this ball over at their own 42-yard line with 3:57 remaining in the contest. Thought we had the Player of the Week ready, so got to apologize for that. Still working on it in the truck. So at this point, it's pride for the Rattlers, Corey. You want to get on the board. Had 6 taken off due to a penalty. Perryman on the carry. Nice run by Perryman into Red Raiders territory. Cuts back. They cannot stop him. He's up to the 20, maybe 18-yard line. Great run by the young man, Severio Singleton.
No quitting this young man, the 5'5", 165-pound freshman. Pushes his lineman out, cuts back against the grain, and knows what to do with it when he's running that football. And he goes ahead and gets positive yardage, embraces the contact, cuts back against the grain, and runs over maybe 3 or 4 BC Rain Red Raiders. And now the Leflore Rattlers are 1 yard away from being in red zone territory again.
Ball at the 21-yard line. Leflore has been in the red zone a few times tonight, just could not get on the board. Singleton in the backfield. LeSure rolling to his right. Got to protect that pigskin. Don't want to cause a fumble. He's going to be taken out at the 20, and his helmet comes off.
And he's going to have to come out for a play.
Will. And there it is, Corey. So we have Career Tech Education Players of the Game tonight. Bryce Dowdland, the running back, and Amari Yelding, the quarterback. Both are sophomores for this Red Raiders offense. They both did an outstanding job tonight.
Now they're going to mark the ball right at the 20-yard line, so it'll be officially red zone territory upcoming for the Rattlers.
They're going to put in Demir Smith to play quarterback as he counts up the players to make sure he has 11. Smith hands off to Singleton, and he plows forward inside of the 15 for a nice carry. Be 3rd and short coming up for the Rattlers. And LeSure still on the sideline about to take his helmet off. He may be done for the night, Corey. As Smith is going to remain in at quarterback for the Rattlers. Smith on the keeper. He has the legs to get into the end zone, but he picks up the first down first as he plows near the 6-yard line for the Leflore offense.
The Rattlers want to desperately get on the scoreboard because there's nothing that can give you more confidence than erasing that 0 that's on there now, trying to get momentum building forward. Demir Smith at quarterback.
Go back to Singleton once again. I think we may have a Rattler offensive lineman hurt. Looks like number 51. Cameron Bell writhing in pain down near the 8-yard line.
Cameron Ball injured on the play, and it may be a cramp situation. You hope that's what it is, because this young man has played his heart out for the Leflore Rattlers from his left guard position.
I hope no one rolled up on him, Corey. There was a lot of blocking, and Singleton kind of hit that hole. You know, sometimes the lineman can get rolled up behind him. Don't forget, next week, we're going to do it again on Thursday. It'll be Murphy versus Bryant. We'll go live at 6:50 with our pre-kickoff show brought to you by Bishop State. Our first time this year going down into the I to check out Murphy versus Bryant, a 7A Region 1 matchup as they look at ball down on the turf right here. Got to thank the folks over there at Firehouse Subs providing us with the great eats. So enjoy more subs and save more lives with a portion of subs purchased at Firehouse Subs going to their Public Safety Foundation. Thanks to Jim and Susie Sherman for everything that they're doing for us. Also, thanks to BSN Sports. If you need polos, if you need equipment, if you need team apparel, they have it for you at BSN Sports, the heart of the game. Visit them online at bsnsports.com. And lastly, Bishop State, with 4 city campuses and offering students a quality and affordable education. Visit bishop.edu to learn more. Bishop State, a great place to start, and we do appreciate them for being our title sponsor this season for the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Trainer still attending to ball down there, Corey. May have been a bit more than a cramp. We'll take a break, come back, see if LeFlore can punch it into the end zone to get a score. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
It's the 2021 MCPSS Virtual Signature Academy Showcase, October 19th from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. Register at signatureacademyshowcase.bfairs.com. Representatives from all 12 high schools will be on hand to talk about our academies. This event is open to all 7th and 8th graders and their parents. So register today and have your questions answered regarding your child's transition into high school and into a life-changing career path. It's the 2021 MCPSS Virtual Signature Academy Showcase, October 19th from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m.
We welcome you back to Lab Peebles Memorial Stadium. BC Rain all in control tonight, 39-0 over Leflore. We're less than 1 minute remaining in the ball game. Leflore trying to get on the scoreboard. LeSure back into the game. Fumble, snap. Johnny on the spot. Severio Singleton, Corey, he saved another turnover for the Rattlers.
39-0 here. Looks like it could possibly be our final score. Leflore is going to go ahead on 4th down and 2 and call a timeout to make sure that here their last play of the game may lead to a score, because I mentioned they have Alberta next week at Alberta. And if you can get points on the board here as time expires, it does do wonders for your team in regards to type of confidence. Even though you won't win this game here at Lab People Stadium, you'll have momentum going forward into the next week's game.
That's right. You want to call a positive play. First of all, you have 2 timeouts. And, Corey, you only need 2 yards to get the first down. So get the first down, stop the clock, or burn another timeout to maybe call up 2 or 3 good plays that you can run to try to get into the end zone. So no quit right here for the Rattlers, and definitely no quit in the band and the alumni folks who came out tonight, Corey, because I think maybe some biofreeze used tonight for a few of those alumni band members, if you catch my drift.
I love it. You know, the support of the orange and green is imperative.
Tonight,
and it really is. Not the outcome they wanted on the scoreboard, but, again, have fun while you're at it, and that's something that these alumni band members have definitely had tonight.
Actually was a good turnout for a Thursday night ball game as well on both sides. The Rattlers fans and the Red Raiders fans. Across the middle they go. That ball tipped by 3 Rattlers receivers but could not be brought down. That was 4th down. It is ball over on downs, and literally all BC Rain has to do is just take a knee to capture this W tonight and get that elusive 3rd region win, Corey.
Well, 3-0 in the region is what Lawrence Yielding wanted to do. I mean, because, again, you mentioned it being since 2014 since this Red Raider program has made the playoffs.
That's right.
And when you start talking about these kids being in elementary school, these upperclassmen, the last time the Red Raiders made the playoffs, that's what Coach Yielding is here to do. And he's made his mark here as they're going to get one more down here on the Rattlers trying to get on the scoreboard. As you look at LeSure trying to scan around, he's got to throw the ball into the end zone, and he does. But it's going to be incomplete.
Short hops it incomplete, so now we'll get the ball over on downs as the Red Raiders offense comes out on the field. Good sportsmanship right there shown by the Red Raiders. Mike Jones and Demir Smith kind of dapping it up toward the end of the ball game right there. .10 seconds remaining here in the contest. And Corey, right to the end, the Leflore band still going at it. So you wouldn't know they were down 39 points right now.
Absolutely not. It's the spirit of the orange and green living on. And BC Rain is going to take a knee right here. And again, like you said, get their 3rd region win here in 2021. And that's a step in the right direction for this program as they're going to run the clock out here, getting to the 1 or 2 yard line and just running out of bounds as clock time expires.
And there it is. BC Rain gets the win 39-0 tonight. And they improved to 3-2, but most importantly, 3-0 in the region. Hopefully Kim can get a chance to talk to Coach Yielding and also our Career Tech Education players of the ball game. And hopefully we can get the final stats up for tonight as well to take a look at the story behind this 39-0 win, Corey.
Big time win for this Red Raider program. And again, going in the right direction is Lawrence Yielding and our Career Tech co-players of the game, both very deserving.
Oh, yeah.
As you're talking about the quarterback rushing and throwing and Dowling getting stronger as the game went along. But that's attributed to their head coach, working them out early in the mornings and working them out after practices. And the guys just putting in the work to get the results they wanted on the scoreboard tonight.
Yeah. There are the stats right there. Take a look at them. Total yards, 308 yards put up tonight by BC Rain, Corey, and a very balanced attack, rushing and through the air, as you can see right there.
That's exactly what they needed to do in my checklist at the beginning of the game. Be balanced. Yielding found and checked down to who he needed to check down to. I know he's going to want to improve on the penalty yardage for the Red Raiders. That's going to be critical for them moving forward next week. But BC Rain is going to be playing St. Paul's next week, so you definitely don't want 8 penalties called against you for St. Paul's, because every yard is going to be needed against a Steve Mass team.
And that's the one thing that Coach Yelding told me when I talked to him earlier this week. He's got the gauntlet to run through on the backside, but he's going to play some very fundamentally sound, well-coached teams, so you can't have 8 penalties for 81 yards against St. Paul's, UMS Wright, and Faith Academy. Let's hear from winning coach Lawrence Yelding right now with Kimberly Dunn.
Coach, how do you feel about your team's performance tonight?
I'm pleased that we got the win. It wasn't as clean as I would have liked for it to be, but we came out, we did what we needed to do to get the victory, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Now we got something to go back and look at tape on, get corrected, but it feels a lot better getting corrected when we get a W out of it. So, we're proud of the energy that they came out with, the focus that they came out with. We're proud of them for playing hard and getting done what we got done tonight.
So what does this region win mean for you and your team?
I mean, it means that we're 3-0, and we have 3 more to go against the 3 that are left for us. I think St. Paul's, Faith, and UMS, which we know that those are 3 class programs. So we just got to go back and get to the drawing board and get ready to play another one next week.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Coach, and congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
You can see that smile on Lawrence Yelding's face getting that win tonight, Cora.
He's absolutely happy his Red Raiders were able to complete this game and play a dominant performance.
All right, for Kimberly Dunn, Cora Bounty, statisticians China Powell, and Matt Moore, our Executive Director Quentin Howard and Director Wade Ford, I'm Al Whedon. Thanking you for joining us tonight as BC Rain gets the win. Next Thursday, we're going down into the I as it'll be Murphy versus Bryant. Have yourself a great night and a wonderful weekend.